Hey guys, welcome back to 90 Day. Hey guys, welcome back to Made at First Sight Australia Season 13. So we're on part 4. We already did part 1, 2, and 3. Part 1 was episodes 1 through 10. Part 2, episodes 11 through 20. Part 3, episodes 20 to 30. And now in this part, we were supposed to do episodes 31 to 39. We were supposed to leave the reunion plus extra drama in its own separate video, but I found out that the reunion is actually 3 episodes long. So instead of episodes 31 to 39, it's actually episodes 31 to 36. Yeah, you're welcome.
You need to leave.
I know. I'm the best. I know. Stop. Anyways, recap on the show for anybody new here. Not a complete recap, so keep your expectations very, very low. A whole bunch of random people come and meet strangers that they're gonna marry. Throughout this whole entire season, we had a bunch of bad people fall in love with each other, but mostly hate each other. And there was a lot of drama, a lot of bullying, and a lot of people that walked away because they couldn't face the consequences of their actions. And so, yeah, it was a big old thing that happened. In part 3, we did have a couple people that left. One of them was Tyson and Stephanie. Tyson was that red pill guy that wanted a submissive wife. Unfortunately, he got Stephanie, who also kind of wanted an alpha male. She didn't really want that, but she wanted a man that like fit that role, that would be like the leader and take the role. But she was a very independent woman, and Tyson didn't like that. He also didn't like that she was very anti-submissive, and she didn't like that he wanted a submissive wife. And so they butt heads. At the end of the day, he was like, you know what, fuck this shit, and he just walked out. He said he couldn't do this anymore. The other people that left were Juliet and Joel. They had huge issues. Joel was very out there. Juliet didn't like how out there he was. She attacked him at the dinner party. The experts called her out, and so she apologized, and after she gave him some good sex, he was like, okay, bad, I guess I'll forgive you now. So they were good until they weren't, because they had this huge fight with her and Beck, which led her to call Beck some pretty nasty words. And so the experts confronted her, and she was like, yeah, I said that to Beck, but Beck said this. And then she showed a whole bunch of screenshots of all the shit that Beck has been saying about other people, but the experts are like, yeah, that's bad, but you're worse. And basically she said, you know what, I can't do this no more. And she walked out, and Joel is there chasing after her, Juliet, and she's gone. And because she left, we also said goodbye to Joel. If there's anybody else that left, I probably don't remember. Sorry, you weren't that interesting. My bad, but not really. More your bad than my bad, because next time be more interesting for me, I guess. Anyways, in the last episode of part 3, all the couples were going back home so they can kind of see how each other live, and also see if that's the type of life they envision themselves. So we saw Rachel and Steven go to Steven's place, and so far so good. They're a happy couple, so they're kind of boring, so we're not really going to talk about them much. Just a heads up. Stella and Philip are also a very happy couple that we're also not going to talk about much. Just a heads up. Gia and Scott, we saw them. She was starting problems with this man. They're a very dramatic couple, so we're going to talk about them a lot. Just a heads up. But basically, she went to his house, complained about everything, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of walking on eggshells around this woman, but I still really love her. Whole time she's basically verbally abusing this man every single day. The other couples we have are David and Alyssa, and Beck and Danny. We didn't see them do the activity, but we're gonna see them do it in the next episode, which is gonna be this episode. Oh, and the last couple that we have are, what's the name? Sam and Chris. So Sam and Chris, they got into this huge fight that caused Chris to be like, you know what, I want to leave. And so he said he wanted to leave, but Sam said that he wanted to stay. It was a whole awkward drama, whatever shit. And now because Sam said that he wanted to stay, they basically have to go do the homestay event, and it's gonna be really awkward, and we're about to talk about that right now. So yeah, that's a little recap of part 3. Now onto part 4. So episode 31. So the first people we see are David and Alyssa, and they just arrived in her city in Adelaide. I think that's how you say it. If I got it wrong, my bad. I'm going to be saying it a lot like that, so my bad in advance. But they arrive in her city, and we see a billboard, and I'm just like, the person on the billboard looks hella familiar. They kind of look like Alyssa. Lo and behold, it's actually Alyssa on the billboard.
Yeah, well, the pressure of this homestay has just doubled. I didn't realize how big of a deal Alyssa was until I saw a massive poster with her face on it. I was stunned, and I'm still trying to take it all in.
I honestly think that this might be one of the reasons why Beck hates Alyssa so much. By the way, yes, Beck hates Alyssa a lot. But I honestly think this is one of the reasons why Beck might hate Alyssa, because she is locally famous. And we found out in the previous episodes that Beck and Alyssa live in the same city. So she probably sees Alyssa around, and she's like, oh my gosh, I fucking hate that bitch. I don't know, just trying to come up with a reason here. Anyways, Alyssa is a very busy woman because remember, not only is she a nurse, but she's also a social media influencer, manager, whatever. But her and David, they're not planning on staying in Adelaide. They're actually planning on staying in another city. I'm pretty sure it's Sydney. And they're going to stay there for a couple of years. After they're done there, then they're going to come back to move to Adelaide. And that's where they're going to build and have their family. The reason why they're doing this is for David to be in Sydney because that's his place. That's where he wants to be. So they want to do that for a couple of years. And then Alyssa has her family, her friends, her career, everything in Adelaide. And so that's the final goal. They want to be there after they have fun in Sydney or whatever. But of course, before they actually have their fun, David wants to see how Adelaide is before he actually decides to settle down permanently, because this would be a permanent move where he has to be away from all of his family and all of his friends.
Figuring out where to live. It's not easy. Brisbane is definitely not on the cards for Alyssa. She said no, you know, and I mean, it is a sacrifice. My family and my friends and everything I've built is in Queensland, you know?
I do think that it's a bit weird that she said no so quickly, even though I know that they decided to move to her city as their permanent route after all of this. But to just say no without any sort of compromise, I don't know. I didn't like that. By the way, you guys, I realized I didn't explain this situation right. So David lives in Queensland, but his business is in Sydney. And so they decided that he and Alyssa would be in Sydney for a couple of years for his business and also so they could live as a couple in like a major city. But after that, they will permanently be in Alyssa's city, which David was kind of upset about because she didn't really want to compromise because his family and friends live in Queensland, not in Sydney. But he was thinking like, oh, maybe they could like settle down permanently in Queensland. But she said no. She didn't even try to compromise at all, which is why he was really upset at that. And so he realizes that he's the one making all the sacrifices and she really isn't doing any of that. Anyways, we move on to Beck and Danny, and once again, she lives in Adelaide and they get to her house. He meets her dog, probably the only good thing about Beck, not gonna lie. No shocky here, I don't like Beck. I feel like the majority of viewers that are watching this know that. Any new viewers, I don't like Beck. Never gonna like that bitch. Fuck her. Let's move on. So she shows Danny around her house and it's really nice. She has a big garden, a nice living room, a nice bedroom. And David said, yeah, I can see myself living here. And Beck is like, oh my gosh, that's so great because I can't see my life without him. I'm just like, oh, okay. Very interesting for you to say that considering the fact that he still hasn't said that he loved you, but whatever. Moving on to Sam and Chris. So, after that whole awkward event that happened in the previous episode, no shocker here, it's still hella awkward.
In silence.
So, finally they're speaking, but it's like a really dry conversation. I think Chris was like, so are you excited to see the farm? And Sam is like, yep. Back to silence. My gosh, kill me. I hate awkward moments like that. Oh my goodness. But Sam tells us that after he found out that Chris said that he wanted to leave, it was like a kick to the gut. But Chris tells us that he needs time to grow and to process all of this. And really, he doesn't want them to dwell on the past anymore because, yeah, it was pretty bad back then. But I do feel like it does make sense to move on. Yeah, unless you guys want to be in this awkward situation for the whole entire week. Did they stay there for a week or a couple of days? I don't know, but I don't want to spend my whole trip in this awkward situation. But Sam agrees with Chris and it's like, yeah, but we're gonna need to have a serious conversation. And Chris agrees, and yeah, have the conversation, be happy, then let's move on. But then we found out that they're not even staying in the same room, and I thought they could have some makeup. You know what I mean? But Chris is staying in his room and he gave Sam like this bunk bed room, and first I was gonna hate it, but the more I see it, I was like, okay, it's not that bad, but like still, you gave me the bunk bed, really? But Sam said that Chris isn't really talking to him much, probably because he's embarrassed as hell, because yeah, that really is embarrassing that you won't leave and it was all your fault, but whatever. But he saw that Sam got him some flowers and a card, and so he thought, oh my gosh, he got me flowers and a card. He really is thinking about me. Maybe he wrote everything he wanted to say in the card. And oh.
And I just had a glimmer of hope. This is why he hasn't said anything yet. He's written it all into this card. Because he told me he's reflected a lot over the last few days. But it just said, welcome to the farm, Sam.
Honestly, I'm gonna need them to wrap it up because I don't think they're gonna make it. Sam said that if it was him that did somebody dirty, then he'll be begging and try to suck up to them, but Chris isn't doing that. So he wants Chris to do that, but so far Chris is like, yeah, awkward silence. Anyways, do you want to come see my cows? But now we move on to Beck and Danny, and they go see her dad, her cousin, and her aunt, and I think they're at her aunt's house, and the house is big and it's by the beach, and apparently it's their beach house. And I'm just like, damn, does Beck's family come from money? Because my goodness, not only is her house big, but her family's house is big as well. And I think I'm starting to notice that a lot of people on the show, they're doing financially well, which I do appreciate, because I would be damned if you're gonna partner me up with a brokey. Like, I don't want that. But also, imagine my partner saying, oh, when he finds out my income. Like, I am the brokey. Oh my gosh, that would suck. I would just leave at that point. Like, you know what? I do not want to be an inconvenience to you and your pockets. Let me go. Anyways, Beck tells her family about how she said that she loved him, and her dad is just dry heaving. But he was like, okay, and then what? And she's like, oh, he didn't say that he loved me back. Ha 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 ha. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And now he calls himself Black Caviar. Do you know why? No. Because every single woman he's ever been with has told him that they love him first, and that's like Black Caviar never missed.
Never lost a race. No, but it was...
Danny doesn't love me back.
And Dad looks so mad. Like, he gets a serious face right away. And so he looks at Danny for, you know, an answer. And Danny's like, yeah, if I don't love her, I don't love her. So obviously I didn't tell her that I loved her because I don't love her. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you really don't love her. He's like, yeah, I don't love her.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit there and lie. I'm not in love with Beck yet. You can't say to someone you love them if you don't.
Yeah.
I think that's very rude and not a good thing to do.
But then her dad takes him outside so they can talk. And he's like, you know what, Danny? I like you. I like you a lot. I'm just like, what? What? After all of that, you really gonna like him? Honestly, I expected more, but okay, whatever. But we go back inside, and her aunt and her cousin are pissed off, rightly so. They're like, why would you tell him that he loved you and he didn't tell you that you loved him back? And why are you still interested in him even though he told you that he didn't love you back? And Becca's like, it's fine, hee, I don't really mind because... You guys, he said that he wants me to be his girlfriend. Oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? And they're looking at her like, oh my gosh, this bitch is really desperate. And yeah, she is. I feel like they're really embarrassed for her. But they can't really say much because, you know, Beck, she was snapping like an instant. If they were like, yeah, Beck, I don't think he's the one for you. Boom, you're now on her shit list. So yeah, I think they are walking on eggshells when they're trying to have this conversation with her. But her cousin asks her if he's even genuine about her. And she's like, yeah, of course. But then her aunt and her cousin look at each other and they're like, oh my gosh, she likes him way more than he likes her. And yeah, I thought we already established that when he said that he didn't love her. Like, what? Like, come on. Anyways, we go back to David and Alyssa, and they meet up with her mom, and they're telling the mom all about their plans about them moving to Sydney and waiting until they come back to Adelaide so they can, you know, build their family. And they ask mom what she thinks about it. And mom is like, well, I would hate that. Yeah, I would definitely hate that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But apparently Alyssa's mom just says the truth all the time. So yeah, she's not holding back at all. But she said that she doesn't like that Alyssa's moving to Sydney for a couple of years because she needs to have kids and she needs to build a family. And she doesn't want her to basically miss out on these years of, you know, having kids, and that her biological clock is ticking. And so she needs to start pushing out babies right now. And I'm like, damn. She's only 33. But I mean, I guess where she's coming from, because if they are staying in Sydney for like, let's say a couple years, could be like 3-4 years, then when she comes back she would be like 37. But like, I feel like that's still not old, especially if she's coming back to give birth right away. I feel like that's still not old to me, but that's just me. But her mom pulls Alyssa to the side and continues to hammer the fact that she needs to have kids right now, and she does like David, but she doesn't want them to waste this opportunity of them baby making.
Yeah, people sometimes take 10 years to fall pregnant. That's the truth. Yeah, I know, but Mum, I don't know that yet. I've never tried. That's right, but you don't know that. So you don't have a couple of years to just take it easy and see how you go. I just see that year or two turning into 5 years or 10. About a couple of years. I think you've got a couple of years to wait.
Now, I do understand Alyssa's mom's concerns, but in Alyssa's intro, she talked about how she was with this guy for a really long time, and all she was doing was waiting for him to propose, but he never did. But she was ready to be married. She was ready to have a family. She was ready to start her life. So I really do think that when Alyssa says that she's going to go to Sydney for a couple of years, then come back and start her family, I feel like she really is going to do that because she is ready to settle down. So I don't feel like mom should really be stressing herself out, and most importantly, she shouldn't be stressing Alyssa out. But yeah, relax. But now, because of all of that, Alyssa is panicking and she feels overwhelmed, but she says that she really loves David, and so she's gonna stick with her original plan and go to Sydney for a couple of years with David and then come back to Adelaide so they can stay permanently, which I think is great news because you're only going to Sydney for like 2 years. You're staying in Adelaide permanently. Makes no sense to not give even David a chance to, like, you know, stay there where he wants to be for 2 years before you like force him to be in a place for the rest of his life. Like, come on. But now back to Chris and Sam. So things are still really awkward. And it's so sad because they're around like the cute cows that are just munching the grass with like no thought in the world. And you guys know how mad I would be if I'm surrounded by like nature, cute cows. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and I look to my right, this is my left, and I look to my right, and all of a sudden, I'm like dealing with this awkward situation with another person. Like, that would piss me off. I want to be indulged in complete happiness, not, you know, awkwardness, luring around the corner. Like, please. But finally, Sam speaks up, and he says that he's really hurt that Chris put leave, and it kind of made him feel really sad about their relationship. And so because of that, Chris is going to need to put in a lot of work for, you know, for them to be better. And Chris says that he does acknowledge that what he did was wrong, but he has listened to the experts, and he is ready to change. And so, yeah, that's good. They finally hug, and thank God we can finally move on from this. Right? Not right. Not right at all. But back to Beck and Danny. So they're back at her house, and she tells him, hey, if you don't want to stay here, then we could just move to wherever you want to go, back in Melbourne or whatever. And Beck, shut the fuck up. Okay, you live in a nice, beautiful house. Your family is really close to you. The man said that he's more than happy to move to your house. What are you talking about? We can move if you want to. Shut up. Shut up! You literally got it on lock. You don't need to tell him that. But Benny tells her that he has the patient of a saint to be dealing with her annoying ass, and they start laughing. But Beck says that she thinks that Danny actually really is in love with her, but he's just waiting for the right time to tell her. And okay.
I think he's very much hoping to find the right time. I mean, I know he loves me already. I know he does.
I feel like if he did love her, then he wouldn't have told everyone, hey, I'm not in love with Beck yet. Just saying. So now back to Alyssa and David. So the girl is freaking out because of what her mom said, which is kind of weird because you just told us that, hey, I'm going to stick by my man and I'm going to Sydney. But now all of a sudden you're thinking, oh my gosh, did I make a mistake? No, you didn't. Calm down. You still have a lot of time. Even David tells her, hey, relax, chill. You got a whole bunch of time left. But now we go back to Beck and Danny. It's like ping pong going back between these two people. But we go back to Beck and Danny, and Danny's like really appreciative of Beck bringing him into her family and her friends and everything, because apparently they met her friends as well, which I honestly wanted to see because I want to see who are Beck's real friends. I want to see who actually tolerates being around her. I don't know, but like, who are your true friends? Anyways, he does appreciate Beck doing all this, and Beck is really happy, but all she wants from this man is for him to just say, I love you, Beck. That's all she wants, but so far he hasn't said any of that. But for now, she continues talking about how her family can see that he gives her like this sort of comfort, but for some reason he brings up a joke about her cousin fancying him or something like that. I kind of didn't get the joke, but it makes her really mad.
I think obviously because Danielle fancied me, she didn't want to, like... I'm joking.
It's like a serious moment.
Oh my God. It's gone down like a lead balloon.
Once again, I didn't get the joke, but okay. She said that he does this all the time. Whenever they have a serious moment, he just cracks a joke, and she doesn't like that. And she told him multiple times that she doesn't like that, but he just continues doing that. But Danny's like, okay, so what? I crack jokes 24/7. Who cares? Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to get crucified in the edit. And I'm just like, what? And Beck is also like, what? Because did this man just break the fourth wall by talking about how they're going to edit him? Really?
But like,
Just gonna get
if you
crucified
say
in the
something
edit.
nice...
Thanks, Beck. Yeah, really, thanks for that. Very joke.
In the edit, what are you talking about? This is real life. He's more worried about how he looks on camera now because he knows he made a mistake. This is you and me.
There's a camera in my face and you're abusing me over a joke.
Dude, there's a camera in my face and you're making a joke of what I'm saying. It's serious for me.
I don't know. This is just weird. But Danny said that he just likes cracking jokes and that's just him. But she's mad and she said, no, there's a time and place for everything and you don't need to be cracking jokes for every single thing. Which I do agree with. Especially when she said, hey, I don't like it. Just stop. Or at the very least, meet in the middle. Like, there should be compromise between the both of you guys because he doesn't like being serious all the time. And she doesn't like him joking on serious matters all the time. So maybe he can throw in like 1 or 2 jokes in there. But like for like the majority of the conversation, be serious. I don't know. I think that would help. Especially because he does say that he does it because of the tension and he doesn't like how everything is so serious. But then he tells us that he finds romantic moments really cringe. And so that's why he be cracking jokes so he can just lighten up the mood. But she berates him saying that, no, you can't do that. You need to stop that. And you also need to be saying nice and genuine things instead of thinking that you should just throw a joke in there. Boring stuff. They don't even come to a resolution because she gets up and she starts crying and... He doesn't even chase her. He just sits down, and honestly, I would too. Now, if this was somebody I actually liked, then yes, I would chase them, but because it's Beck, she can go. I don't care. But then he said that he doesn't care. He doesn't even want to be there anymore. And now he's thinking that he doesn't even want to move to Adelaide because he's noticing that if they were to be having arguments all the time, she would always be at her house and he would always be at her house. There would be no space for him to go, nobody for him to talk to. Everybody would always be on her side, and he has just nobody around him and no family here in a place where he doesn't really feel comfortable or feel at home. So yeah, that's his dilemma right now. Moving on to Alyssa and David. So they meet up with Alyssa's friends, and Alyssa's just telling them all about the issues and all the things that she's going through with trying to move to Sydney and also trying to build her family here in Adelaide. But David's realizing that Alyssa might not want to go to Sydney, and he's getting a bit frustrated because she's not even trying to meet him halfway, and he's realizing that he's doing all the sacrificing while she's doing nothing. And not only does he realize it, but her friends also realize it as well, and they're like, Alyssa, shut the fuck up. We're realizing that you're only talking about yourself, but you're not really talking about David as well and how he feels. And Alyssa's like, oh, right, David, yeah. I'm also thinking about David as well. But like, are you? Because I don't think you are.
Alyssa is definitely self-sabotaging, I think. And I think David is a very patient person, but everyone has their limitations.
When you've put all your cards on the table for someone and they're still unsure and they need more confirmation, and if Alyssa still questions my intentions at this point in the experiment, then we're just not for each other.
So her friend tells Alyssa that she needs to bring it down a couple notches because David is stable, calm, and he does a lot for Alyssa. And Alyssa hasn't had this type of person in any single one of her relationships. And so she really shouldn't let David go just because of these little minor issues. And I really like her friend because she's drilling into Alyssa's head that, hey, David is everything you want in a partner, so don't fuck this up. But now we move back to Sam and Chris. So it's the next day. I think this is their second day, and Sam wakes up to see that Chris is not there. And he's freaking out because, hello, where's Chris? The car is gone, and he's the only one at the farm, but the crew is also there. But Chris just left to the gym without telling him anything. And so he feels like he's not a priority, and he feels like what Chris did was like kind of like a selfish thing to do. Thing is, I don't think it's selfish, and I don't think that he didn't think he wasn't a priority. I think he was just like going through his routine, like, hey, let me get up, let me go to the gym, let me come back, and let me continue my day with Sam. He's just like continuing his routine. What I do think he should have done though is that he should have like texted him a message, wrote something on his notepad saying, hey, by the way, I'll be at the gym, but I will be back around this time. Because if he's going to the gym early, he's probably trying to be done quickly and get it out of the way and then come back and hang out with Sam for the rest of the day. That's just what I think. So I think that maybe Sam is overthinking it. I don't think that Chris is trying to be malicious or not prioritizing him. I just think that he's just trying to fit in his gym and then go on with the rest of his day with Sam. But now Chris is back and they're sitting around the fire, and Chris thinks that everything's going well. His mood has even gotten better, and he just thinks that they're doing great in their relationship, which is very unfortunate because while he's thinking that, Sam is like, you made this morning really bad for me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys were doing so well. Now you guys are going back, and I really hate that for y'all. So now, because of all of that, things are back to being awkward again, which, really sucks. But Sam says that he has a bunch of questions that he wants to ask Chris, and Chris is like, okay. And so he grabs his notepad, and the first question was, do you accept full responsibility for your defensiveness and for your aggression towards me? And I'm just like, ow, we're coming in hot.
What are you referring to?
Like the way you treated me at the dinner party, the rolling your eyes, the, I guess, sass you were giving me about what happened even on the couch before.
Yeah.
Do you think it was fair what the experts said to you on the couch? Because for me, their feedback felt accurate.
Yes.
He continues to ask him more questions like, do you realize my awkwardness and silence towards you was a direct result of your behavior and not being cold for no reason? Do you understand why I raised our issues at the dinner party and why I was so scared to bring it up to you because of the way you were reacting? Do you see that breaking this behavior means letting go of your ego and actually unpacking why you react like that? Chris says yes to everything, but he tells us that he's just so over this and that he has worked so hard just for all of this to just be thrown back in his face. And so that's exactly what he tells Sam. He's like, bro, I see where you're coming from, but I have also suffered from all of this as well. Like, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to grow, and I feel like I'm doing that. And you know what? I see exactly where Chris is coming from, because I will be damned. If I wasn't defensive before, I would be defensive now, because why are you putting me through this? I feel like we already talked about this. I feel like that should be, I don't want to say swept under the rug, but like We've been through it. We're trying to grow. We're trying to move past it. Let's try to move past it. Why are we going back to that? I feel like Chris understands that what he did was wrong. And I feel like he's trying to grow. But the fact that it feels like you're throwing it back in his face. The expert said that you were this and that and that and this. Did you grow? You know, it was part of your ego. Like, he gets it. I'm pretty sure he gets it. Let's try to move on. But Chris tells us that he felt like he was 15 and he was being scolded by the teacher. And yeah, he just didn't like that. But then Sam asked him, do you still have feelings for me? And Chris is like, you know what? I just want to put on my dad hat and I don't want us to dwell on the past. And I'm just like, okay, but you didn't answer the question though. Do you have feelings for him or not?
I kind of want to be someone's number one priority.
Yeah,
I think I've realized.
I understand that.
I think I've realized that being here, my feelings are like they're pretty gone. I can't see this working.
Sam and I have just broken up.
Well, Chris said that he wasn't expecting that to happen, but he's also pretty glad that that happened because he already apologized 7 times, so he doesn't know what else that Sam wanted from him. But Sam didn't envision them ending this way, and he thought that Chris would fight for him, but like, what? You're the one that broke up with him. What do you mean, I want you to fight for me? Are you serious? But honestly, I feel like they both are getting on my nerves. I think that Sam, even though I get where he's coming from, I feel like when you're in a relationship, sometimes you just need to let things go. I feel like I wouldn't be saying this if they didn't address Chris's behavior, but they did address Chris's behavior, and they did talk about it previously as well. So I don't know why he's trying to like beat the dead horse again and again and again. Like, he gets it. He really does. Chris, on the other hand, stop being so self-absorbed. I feel like he should be thinking more about his partner. He didn't think about Sam's feeling when he was thinking about their future. He didn't think about Sam's feelings when he just up and left to go to the gym. He really wasn't thinking about Sam's feelings for a lot of these things. It just kept thinking like, boo-hoo, I can't believe you're hurt because of the things I did to you. Like, come on. Anyways, episode 32. So it's dinner party day. Yay! We love dinner parties here. So far, Philip and Stella are very happy. No shocker there. Rachel and Steven are also very happy. No shocker there. Gia and Scott, they're doing all right. So Gia got on Scott's nerves a lot when he invited her over to his place, but he said that he's just ready to push the reset button and start all over. And damn, Scott is really gonna stick by this woman. I really don't get what he sees in Gia, but to each their own, I guess. But the producers asked him if he thinks that there's gonna be problems if he raised up his concerns, and he's like, yes, absolutely. Gia's gonna raise some problems. I'm like, Scott, this is not the type of life that you would want to live in. Get out now. But we see Beck and Danny, and they're doing great, which really doesn't shock me because every time they get in a fight, they make up like the very next day. So yeah, that whole fight that they had earlier about him cracking jokes and her trying to be serious, they moved on. I wish Sam and Chris could move on that easily, but you know, it's whatever.
Since we've been back, like, there's not really any need to talk about it. Like, he made a joke, it frustrated me, he got frustrated with me, and then we wake up the next morning, we give each other a cuddle, and we move on. It's all blown over. Like,
Shocking.
oh, stop it!
I think that's the only positive thing going for them. Then we see Sam and Chris, and they're gonna be attending the dinner party separately. No shocker there. Honestly, no shocker there. But for some reason, Sam wants to find out why Chris didn't want this relationship, and I really think that it was because of your list of questions that got him thinking, yeah, let's wrap this up. Honestly, I would side eye that list of questions as well, but okay, whatever. But now we see Alyssa and David's now having second thoughts about his whole relationship with Alyssa because he's noticing that everybody in her life thinks that he's a great guy and that he's great for Alyssa except for Alyssa. And so he realizes that she only sees the negatives in their relationships, and he doesn't really want to put his neck on the line for somebody that, you know, doesn't even want to meet him halfway. And so he goes to her and says that he needs space, and now she's rattled and she's like, oh my gosh, he needs space? He needs space? Well, that's okay because I need space too. And like, okay, Alyssa, whatever. Obviously, you will get space as well if he's getting space. Duh. But he does tell her that she's just looking for negatives on why they won't work. And he's not trying to force himself to be with somebody that's not going to fight for him at all.
So I'm not going into the dinner party with Alyssa feeling my best self. I'm sure you're in a similar boat.
Babe, I'm just as tired as you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just as tired as you.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just as tired as you. I get it.
Anyways, it's time for everybody to meet. Rachel and Steven are the first people there. Then Alyssa and David are almost there. But before they even open the door, Alyssa stops David and she's like, I feel like if you tell everybody that we need space, that's going to sound really bad. So instead, we're going to say we need space to just process everything. And he's like, Okay. And so they walk in like they're really happy, they're doing really great, and so nobody is suspecting that anything bad is going on between them, but behind the scenes they're not doing so well. But then we see Gia and Scott walk in, and right after them Chris walks in all by himself, and everybody's like, oh,
Chris is alone.
Well, shit. That's not my prediction.
I mean, they were very bad at the commitment ceremony. Chris had written leave. Sam was absolutely in tears about it all. There was a hope that the homestay, they might be able to turn it around, but this looks like it's actually not been salvaged.
But Chris tells everybody that Sam was the one to end their relationship after like 2 days into the homestays thing. And he said that he took accountability and he was trying really hard, but he was shocked when Sam just dumped him after, you know, those 2 days. But it is what it is. But then he said that apparently he wasn't even gonna come, but he said that he wanted to respect Sam, and so that's why he decided to come to the whole dinner party thing, which I feel like is BS, because you're supposed to come. Regardless if you guys book up or not, you guys are supposed to come, and you guys are supposed to leave during the commitment ceremony. So yeah, I feel like that's bullshit, but okay. Anyways, Philip and Stella show up, and then Beck and Danny show up, and Beck and Alyssa greet each other, which I thought was weird because, you know, that whole text message thing that she sent out, you and your husband are rat-faced bitches, like that was crazy. I would never greet somebody that said that to me, but here's Alyssa greeting Beck that said that to her, so yeah, that's weird. Anyways, Danny tells us that he's been planning on living in Beck's house rent-free and just putting his foot up, and he said that he just needs to figure some things out. And we see Beck and she looks happy as fuck, and yeah, I don't think that what Danny said was a problem at all, because yeah, you should not be living rent-free. Pay the mortgage or something. Do some work around the house. Go find a job. Like, what do you do for work? Aren't you like a business owner or something like that? But like, go work something. Anyways, we go back to Chris, and he's hoping that Sam comes in nice, and I hope he comes in nice too, because Sam is kind of scaring me. I feel like he's gonna start drama. But he comes and they give each other a quick hug, and that's about it. It didn't look warm. It didn't look happy. They just look like they're just trying to like get it over with. Hug, bye. Then they moved on, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Chris, I think Sam's about to get you. My goodness, there is no love at all. Anyways, it's dinner time, and right away Sam is like, I just want to tell everybody my perspective, and Chris is like, oh shit, and I'm also like, oh shit, because this is really quick. But Sam tells everybody that Chris didn't even try to make an effort in their relationship.
I didn't.
You didn't really fight that at all. You were like, also just like, okay.
Because I had given so much to try and make it work. I want to come. Oh my God, here we go again.
If Chris thinks that's loads of effort, I feel sorry for anybody he ends up with in the future. Like, yeah.
But Sam said that he did actually have feelings for Chris, but then Chris won't leave, and then he became nervous, and then they went to the farm, and then the next day he realized that Chris was gone with no card, no message, nothing, just for Chris to come back home saying that he went to the gym. And because of that, he felt like Chris didn't even want him there. But Chris is like, okay, look, all I wanted was just for you to sleep in longer. And everybody's like, yeah, we can definitely see that. And Sam starts freaking out because he's starting to realize that people are on Chris's side. And not gonna lie, I would be also on Chris's side for that situation specifically, because it makes sense. He just wanted you to sleep in. Only thing that I didn't like about it was that he didn't like write you a message, but yeah, he just wanted you to sleep in, so I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was like a little oopsie, let's move on, but you took it really bad.
Look, for me, it was letting him sleep a little bit longer.
We're not interrupting each other tonight, right?
Oh,
God. Okay.
Can I keep going with my story then?
Yeah.
So then we come to the fight.
Y'all, it's getting tensed up in here. But Sam continues saying that he wrote down questions of everything the experts brought up. And he was like, hey, do you even have feelings for me? And Chris said, I don't know. And I'm just like, wait, what? Chris answered? Because in the original episode, Chris did not answer. And so I think they edited his answer out. But if that's the case, I don't like that, because it made it look like he didn't even want to answer the question. But instead he reflected and just said, hey, I just want to focus on being positive and being a good father. And that made him look really bad, because why wouldn't you keep that clip in, even if he did say I don't know? But because Chris said I don't know, Sam was thinking, okay, what the hell am I doing here then? And so because of that, that's why he ended it. But then he realized that Chris is not even trying to fight for him, so he was like, what the fuck? So he felt like Chris checked out and that he just did the bare minimum, and he really didn't put effort in their relationship at all. But Stella jumps in and she tells Sam that she feels like Sam is putting a lot of pressure on Chris. But before she can even finish, the queen of cutting people off cut Stella off, and she's like, well, I feel like you really shouldn't say that, because Sam was going through a lot last week. And Stella's like, yeah, I get that, but I just feel like he's clinging on. But before she can finish, Beck cuts her off and says, well, Sam had feelings for somebody that was being really aggressive towards him. And Chris is like, I don't want to hear from you. You're the person that's always been aggressive towards everybody else. And that shuts up Beck. And I just love that because, yes, bitch, shut the fuck up. You always want to jump everybody else. Please.
Like, let's all just take a step back.
But babe,
Yeah,
you've
I
been
get
aggressive
that.
too at the dinner parties. You're in no position to be giving someone feedback about their behaviour, honey. So just pipe it down a little bit.
I'm glad he said that because, Beck, you really need to learn how to close your damn mouth. My goodness. But Chris said that he was really trying his best to move past this whole situation, but then Sam put out that notebook and started going through everything all over again. Once again, before he can even finish, guess who cuts him off again? Beck. Like, can somebody duct tape this bitch's mouth closed? I'm being so freaking serious.
Live in the moment. Can we just have a bit of fun? And
But do you understand with the questions, they're things that were burning inside
Of course.
Sam that he needs
of course.
answers to.
Yeah, cool. I'll keep talking, babes. So I felt uncomfortable.
No, you guys, because I absolutely love the way that Chris shuts that girl down. Like, I love it bad. But Sam said that the reason why he ended it was because Chris just didn't have feelings for him. And Alyssa said that they're both good people, but they're just not good people for each other. And everybody agrees because clearly they're not a good match, even though I feel like they are a good match, but it's just one hiccup that really shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And it ruined two people that I thought were like genuine soulmates because they did everything similarly. Like they were like a carbon copy of each other. But Rachel said that Chris did try, but it just wasn't enough for Sam, and that's just the way it was. But Rachel asked Beck and Danny how was their homestays, and Danny said that it was great until like the last 15 minutes because they had an argument. And Beck is like, huh? Argument? What are you talking about? We didn't have an argument. We had a ding dong. I'm just like, ding dong? What the fuck is a ding dong? Apparently to her, a mini argument is a ding dong. And she doesn't even say it once, but she says it twice. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
But in that moment, arguing, like...
Hardly an argument, a ding dong, but yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it.
Whilst Danny did call it an argument, Beck called it a ding-dong, so she's wanting to really contain it. Yes.
Anyways, after the little ding-dong, he said that he felt uncomfortable in her house because he didn't have his own space. And then he said that he didn't like how it would look for him to move in with her because as a man, it just wasn't right. And everybody's like, huh? What? As a man? What the fuck are you talking about? But he said that he wants to talk about it in a deeper level about him moving into a woman's home. And Rachel, who thinks that she knows what he's talking about, is like, oh yeah, because it is pretty hard moving all your stuff from one place to another person's house because, you know, everything gotta like go in its own space. But he's like, no, I just feel like I would look like a bitch moving into my woman's place. And Rachel's like, oh, whoa, wait, that is not what I thought you meant at all. Which is so funny because I knew exactly what he meant. But Rachel, I can't believe you didn't know exactly what he meant because it's clear what he meant.
What are you on about?
God.
Oh my God. He's talking about feeling emasculated if she was the one who owned the house. And let's not use the term bitch in that way either, Danny.
We're on 800 square metres, 5 minutes from the city, with a $97,000 mortgage and a $3 million house.
$3 million is crazy. Like, how did she even afford that?
Women have worked really, really hard to make sure that we've got this multi-million-dollar home in the most affluent suburb of South Australia.
Are we serious for this? Emasculated by moving into a home with your woman.
Not gonna lie, I do see where he's coming from, but also grow up. I feel like there's a lot that you can do when you move into your woman's house. Pay rent, pay mortgage, pay utilities, do work around the house, do chores around the house, do yard work, do something, maybe fix something here or there, something. I don't know. As long as you're not a lazy fucking bum, then I feel like it's more than fine for you to move into your wife's house without feeling like an inconvenience. You know what I mean? Plus, you guys are already married, so it doesn't make sense to me why you guys will give up on a good place just so you guys could move into your house or whatever. Like, what? Pay her bills, come on. But Scott said that he does understand where Danny is coming from because he is also a provider, and so he wants to provide for Gia, and he said that he wants to buy a big house for Gia. And Gia's like, yeah, I do agree with you, Danny. Plus, I have a bigger house than Scott. Yeah, I have a bigger house than Scott. I'm just like, what? That was so random. Why the fuck did you need to bring that up? That was so weird. But a lot of the guys are agreeing with Danny, while the experts are like, nah, you are all stupid. But Beck said that her house is great. It's 5 minutes from the city. She lives very close with her family. She has a $97,000 mortgage on her house, which I'm a bit confused about because I don't know houses and mortgages, like the price and the whatever that goes on between them. But I don't know, I feel like a $3 million house and a $97,000 mortgage, how does that work? Because I feel like the mortgage should be much higher. Does she have $97,000 left to pay on the house, or did she put $97,000 down, or is she paying $97,000 every month, year? I have no idea. But That's crazy. Also, what's crazier is the fact that that house is worth $3 million. Most, I would say, is $400,000 max. Because yes, you do have a nice, pretty yard, but the house itself, we didn't see the whole entirety of the house, but it was big, but it wasn't that big. $3 million for that. That's a scam. Okay, that's a full-on scam. But while everybody's arguing, David tells Alyssa that he would like to get his own spot where they move to Adelaide. And both me and Alyssa were like, huh? Really? Why? Because at that point, you guys are together. You guys are married. You guys probably been in Sydney for like 2-3 years already. Why in the world would you get your own spot in Adelaide when you guys should just share a home together? Save money. Duh. If you want your own spot, pick a room in the house and that's your spot. Like, what are we doing? Getting a brand new house just for you to call your own spot. What?
Yeah. But I wouldn't like, we're gonna work together, do you know what I mean?
I know we work together, but as a man, it's just something I do. As a man, maybe I'm old school like that, but I believe like the man should be the man of the house and take care of the big bills.
It's nice to have your own thing, but ultimately you work together, right?
Exactly, yeah. Ultimately, you will.
It doesn't have to be a demasculating thing, it just has to be teamwork.
But other guys are telling their wives, yeah, I agree with Danny. Yeah, I agree with Danny. And you know what? Whatever, because who am I to say, no, how dare you buy me a house? How dare you move me into this nice big home? How dare you pay for all the bills and all the utilities and pay for the upkeeping and the groceries and this and that and that and this? What? You're giving me a monthly allowance? No way. I can't believe that. Like, how dare you do such a thing? Like, why would anybody say no to such a thing? Like, yes, provide for me. Yes, I will take it. Shower me with everything. Like, please. If he thinks that will help him with him being more emasculating, then go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and do it. As long as I don't gotta touch a bill, do whatever you want. But you know, I picked the house and I picked the decorations and I picked where we live and so on. Like, I gotta do all the decision making. You just swipe the card and sign the contract. And if anything were to happen at the end of the day and we ended up splitting up, that house would be mine. Everything in it would be mine. 75% of your bank account would also be mine. I'm kidding. Okay, but like if my husband was like filthy fucking rich, like fucking filthy rich, then I'm not kidding. I'm so dead ass. But anyways, moving back to Alyssa and David. So she tells everybody how she was spiraling because she has to move to Sydney, but she decided that she can't really do that because she has so much in Adelaide. She has her home, her business, her family. She has so much going on there. And so she thinks that she won't be able to even move out of Adelaide for like 3 months. And then she switches it to 6 months. And then she switches that to 12 months. And she says this like back to back to back. Like, no, 3, you know what, 6, you know what, no, maybe 12. And everybody's noticing in the room that David is doing a lot of sacrificing for her, but she's not doing any sacrificing for David, because her going to Sydney for David was supposed to be their compromise. Like, hey, we'll go to Sydney for 2 years and then spend the rest of our lives in Adelaide. That was their compromise. And now all of a sudden she's like, you know what? Fuck that. I want to stay in Adelaide for like 6 to 12 months while you, David, stay in Sydney. Then even after that, I don't even think that I'm going to even move to Sydney anyway. So then after you're done in Sydney, then maybe you can come to Adelaide and then stay with me. Like, that makes no fucking sense at all. But then you guys, she then says that David grounds her, but also she doesn't like David snoring. And like, what? And everybody else is like, what? And David's starting to realize that she's just finding anything to say just so she can push him away, and he doesn't like that. And so far in this whole entire experiment, he was okay being like that shoulder to lean on whenever she gets emotional, but that all stopped at homestays. And so he's getting really upset. And Philip wants to know what he's thinking.
I've hit my wall. I've been calm throughout this whole thing, but I'm at my limit. But it's at the point emotionally I don't have much to give. I'm invested in this relationship. I am prepared to move for this relationship. But for me, I bonded with her mom and her 2 best friends. And I've got her mom saying, this is good for you. Her friend saying, this is good for you. So I'm just like, what other green checks do you need ticked off? Like, you know?
But he said that this is something that they can talk to the experts about, and the experts are watching and they're like, uh-oh. And I'm like, yeah, do your fucking job, because this is getting serious. But everybody else is doing great in their relationships, especially Rachel and Steven. So yeah, we don't gotta talk about them. Yeah, we're definitely not talking about them. Then we see Beck, and she looks like she's in despair. Like, girl, what now? But apparently she's still stuck about what he said earlier about how he was gonna be a bitch if he moved into his girl's place, and she just felt blindsided and betrayed. And I'm like, betrayed is a big word. Like, I would not use betrayed. Blindsided is good though, because he didn't let you know about this at all. But yeah, that's about it. But she leans over and she whispers to him, and it's like a really good whisper. Like, it's really low to the point I'm just like, I gotta turn on my captions because I don't know what the fuck you're saying at all.
My life, and here I am with a slow burn, and Like I said, we went for hard yards earlier, and now we're so strong because of that. And so, yeah,
but not to that level. Like, I think I would have appreciated you having been that open and honest with me before a whole table of people.
But she tells him, you basically told everybody that if you moved into my place, then you would feel emasculated. And he's like, yes, I would feel emasculated. And she's like, oh, but you should have told me that in private. And he said, you know what would make me feel de-emasculated? If I picked up the mortgage or if I renovated around the house or something. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, go ahead and do all that then. Duh. Why have you bring up this problem if you know that there's a solution? Yes, go ahead and start paying all my bills. But I also don't know why this is an argument for Beck. If the man clearly wants to pay for my mortgage, go ahead and do so. Like, problem solved. We're done. But she said that she's not moving out, and basically that's the end of their conversation. Yeah. Episode 33. So it's commitment ceremony day, yay! But today is the final commitment ceremony, which makes me really sad because I just love when the experts drag these people, but yeah, that's unfortunate. But I think I did see in like, was it the reunion? I think in part 2 of the reunion, we do see another commitment ceremony. So yeah, this is not the final, but it's the final one. Anyways, the first people we see are Alyssa and David, and they're having this big conversation. And she said that whenever she tries to have big conversations with David, he doesn't really tell her how he feels in those moments, and it's really frustrating for her. But she's talking to David about all her problems, and she said that this experiment has taken a huge toll on her and only her, and she's getting really anxious because the end is coming near, and she doesn't really know much about his friends or his family or really anything, or even what he does for work, which is a bit confusing because you should at least know what he does for work in like the first week. I knew what he did for work in like the first day. The first day they introduced him, I knew that he was doing like some business or whatever. He was also part in the church group, and he's also like a rapper. I knew all of that from like day one, and you telling me you don't know anything about this man at all? Really? But then she's like, David, if you're having doubts about me, then you need to tell me. And he's like, well, and then she cuts him off, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I just need you to challenge me. And he's like, yeah, but, and then she cuts him off again. I'm just like, whoa, wait a fucking minute. Bitch, what the fuck? Are you just gonna keep telling him, hey, you need to start speaking, and then cut him off every time he starts speaking? And y'all, that's exactly what she does. And I really need her to stop and like learn to shut the fuck up.
It's so frustrating to sit here trying to express my side of the story, and I can hardly get a word in.
Babe, like if you don't talk to me about your reservations, that's not healthy, babe.
Yeah.
Talk to me. We need to voice. And that's what I need in this relationship.
You guys, I honestly feel so bad for him. I feel like Alyssa needs her mouth taped. Her and Beck, they both need the mouth tape. They talk so fucking much. Oh my gosh. But David said that Alyssa only wants respect on her terms and only her terms only. And whenever he says something, she doesn't really listen, and it's her way or the highway. But tonight at the commitment ceremony, he's gonna just tell the experts everything. But I just want to say, if you've known this about her and you know that it's a problem, you should have brought this up much earlier, because why are you bringing it up at the final commitment ceremony? Like, after you guys bring up your problems, you guys are supposed to come back the following week and then give us an update to see if those problems are fixed or not. But like, now you're just gonna tell the experts, hey, by the way, this happened, and the experts gonna be like, okay, this is how you fix it, and now the experts can help you later on just to see if you guys are able to fix it or not. So yeah, I feel like he definitely should have brought this up way earlier, but whatever.
And I believe that it's right to put it all out on the table. I don't ever want to have to hold back.
I don't think it's that you hold back, but I think one thing about you is you hold on too much,
babe,
and then,
I know,
babe, you're spiraling within yourself.
No, I'm not. Are you done?
You know what I mean?
I can't even get a word in.
But now we move on to Scott and Gia. So Scott looks checked out, while Alyssa said that they're doing better than ever. And he tells us that he can't be 100% himself, because whenever he tries to speak out, Gia always makes it into an argument, and he doesn't want any more arguments. But like, if you don't want any more arguments, then you need to leave, or else you'll be arguing with this girl every single day for the rest of your life. I promise you that. But he says that whenever he speaks up, she becomes harsh towards him, and that she says horrible things to him, and he doesn't really like it. But he doesn't want to say anything to the experts because he doesn't want the experts to bash her. So because of that, he's just like in this horrible situation where he can't really do anything because he's afraid of Gia. And I just feel so bad for the majority of the guys on the show, because it, to me, feels like a lot of them are being verbally abused, and I don't like it at all. Like, my goodness, y'all need to leave. Like, it's okay to leave. And it's so sad because what I'm seeing from like most of them, it's like the girls are the ones that are calling it quits when it should be the guys calling it quits. But it's like the girls are like, I'm getting bored abusing my man, I'm gonna go now. Like, what? That is insane. It should be the guys that are leaving, but yeah, it really sucks to watch. But anyways, it's time for the commitment ceremony. So Alyssa and David are the first to go, and he doesn't hold back. He says exactly what he's been thinking. He said that he's been carrying a lot of the emotions of their relationship, and he has held his own feelings back just to make sure that he kept the peace for their relationship. But then the camera pans over to Scott, and I'm just like, okay, Scott, take all of this in. Listen to everything David is saying, because he's kind of in a similar boat to you. So if he can give you courage for you to stand up for yourself, take it, please.
And this is a thing where, like, I have tried to bring something up at the start of the relationship to Alyssa, and I felt like she was not receptive to it. So what that ended up doing for me was making me be more cautious of bringing stuff up to her. It was more the reaction of, is it going to become an argument that was going to go out of hand?
But David said that Alyssa has been negative about the mood, and now it's affecting him and bringing him down. But Alyssa said that she's frustrated because if he felt like this, that he should have definitely brought that up to him. But he's like, but if I brought it up to you, then it would have been an argument, which I could definitely see, or I could definitely see her cut him off the whole entire time. But he says that he just wants a partner that would actually let him talk, and he doesn't want one that just shuts him down and pretends that everything they say is the Bible. But Alyssa said that she's confused and that she's never done that. And then David starts hesitating before he says, she called me a weak man. And everybody's like, whoa, what? And Mel is like, oh, well, that's a problem. And yeah, it sure is. But it gets even worse because we find out that the only reason why she said that is because she told him, I have assets and I'm ahead of life, and I feel like my partner should be also like that as well. Basically saying that they're not on the same level. And oh my gosh, what the fuck, Alyssa? Honestly, that would piss me off because, girl, who the fuck do you think you are? Calm the fuck down. But Mel is like, oh, okay, so you meant that he's financially weak. I see. And David said, yeah, he was really upset about it, but he didn't show it, but he probably should have said something about it. And yeah, you probably should have. But once again, he did say that it would lead to an argument. And how I saw the last argument, how she just kept turning everything back to him when he would like say, hey, I didn't like that you said this or that and this. And she's like, well, no, you're not understanding exactly what happened, so shush. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what the fuck, bitch? But Alyssa said that she was just frustrated and she just wanted more of him. But David said that he was really upset that she said that because it seems like she wants him on her timeline, and he didn't feel like that should be the case. He feels like he's doing more than enough. But then, you guys, he said that she told him that if he's not giving her enough energy to sustain her for 5 years, that she's gonna go leave to find that energy somewhere else. And she's like, no, I didn't say that. But girl, that sounds exactly like something you would say, because the last commitment ceremony, you said that, oh my gosh, David isn't like, he's not giving me enough energy. He's not doing anything to my frequency. He's not reaching my frequency. Like, she would say some bullshit like that, which got him thinking like, what the fuck, am I boring you? And now all of a sudden he said that this is something that you said, and now you said that you didn't say that, when it sounds like something you would definitely say.
She said, I'm hungry, you need to feed me, you need to feed me. I've taught you more in this relationship than you taught me.
I'm wanting to, like, open-ended conversations and stuff. I'm wanting to go deep. Like, I'm putting all my cards on the table. I'm very direct. Like, I'll talk about stuff. I need some sort of fuel. Like, it's what I like. But I don't know if our relationship is going to last in the real world, if this is the gap.
But Alyssa said that she wants to see David and his family and basically see him in his own elements because she wants a family. But David said that Alyssa always says that she wants these open-ended conversations, but whenever he tries to have these open-ended conversations, she cuts him off every 5 seconds. And y'all, before he can even finish talking about how she cuts him off, guess what she does? You guessed it. She cuts him off.
I've done a lot of listening. Alyssa's done a lot of talking. That's the fact.
You need to speak up.
No, but like, one thing about me is I think we're both adults, and I want to see that in her, that she has the ability to listen.
I can't mind read.
It's not mind reading. It's not mind reading.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
See?
I cannot.
Boom.
I know, I can't mind read, babe. You're frustrating me because I can't read your mind.
But expert Mel said that David should have spoken up, but Alyssa, you knew that David wasn't speaking up, and so you should have given him the space to actually speak up. And so basically, she wants them to move forward and be more open with each other. But it's time for them to make a decision, and they both decide to stay, which all right, I guess. I really thought that David would put leave, but I guess he still wants to make this work, so I can't really say much. I think if Alyssa knew this conversation was going to happen, that she definitely would have put leave, because she was very defensive, like extremely defensive. She looked really shocked that David was bringing all this up, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he would say this and not tell me this earlier, which I feel like he probably did try to tell you earlier, but you kept cutting him off and shutting him down, so yeah, that's on you. Anyways, they both decide to pick stay. Who is next? Rachel and Steve Steven. So, of course, they're doing great. Duh. Not shocking at all. They went to his family's beach house, had a great time, went fishing, and, you know, Steven said that he could see himself fall in love with her. Rachel said that this is great, and she's so happy that they're actually progressing in their relationship. But she's scared that once they go back home, they would be in a long-distance relationship, and she basically doesn't want him to start forgetting about her or, like, not talking to her much or basically distancing himself away from her. But she starts crying, and he's like, oh, don't worry, babe, that's not gonna happen. And he tells her that if she feels like that's gonna happen, then he's just gonna comfort her. And yeah, they both decide to choose stay, and nobody is shocked. They're one of our strongest couples. I think the strongest couple is definitely Stella and Philip, but yeah, they're up there as well. But next is Beck and Danny. So they talked about the homestays event and how it was really cool and how they met all her friends and family. But then Beck brings up that joke that Danny made about her cousin fancying him, and everybody's like, wait, what? What joke? Tell us.
Daniel said, if all else fails, at least Daniel fancies me type thing. And I lost it.
Now, what's crazy is that from what I heard, that is definitely not what I got from what he said. I really did not understand what he was talking about, but with them explaining it, that shit is crazy. He said that it landed poorly, and it definitely did, because why the fuck would you even say that? I completely understand why she was so mad. And the fact that he said it was a joke, really? We're talking about me and you right now, and you're talking about trying to get with my cousin if we don't work out. Like, what the fuck? Now I completely understand why she was pissed off. But she said that she doesn't like when he makes jokes when they're having a conversation that means so much to her. And he's like, okay, fine, I get it. But he said that what's holding him back is that he doesn't want to argue and then have nobody around to basically, you know, talk to. And he also thinks for both of them, it just doesn't work. And Beck looks surprised. And he's like, I'm talking about our fight style. It just doesn't work. And then he tells the experts, you see, it's like everything I say, she takes it the wrong way. But like, I would have taken that the wrong way as well, because I wouldn't have assumed you were talking about our fighting styles. I would have assumed you were talking about me and you not working. Maybe you should start saying things correctly instead of vaguely, and then she wouldn't be, you know, misunderstanding everything. Because currently she thinks that you're in love with her because you make her think that you're in love with her, but you're not in love with her. Actually, is that a good example? I don't think so, because he clearly has told her he's not in love with her. I feel like, yeah, that's not a good example, because it's just her delusions making her think that he's in love with her when he's not at all. But Beck asked him why didn't he tell her about his problems, and he's just like, oh my gosh, because I was so fearful to tell you, because I just knew that it would upset you. And she's like, what? And then she tells the experts that he has more reservations that he leads on, and he starts laughing, but the experts are like, no, this is not a laughing matter.
Because when you add things up, Danny, it's not making her feel secure. You know, you haven't said your feelings back to her. You've gone to the family and they've validated you, and then you're not bringing up issues because you're afraid of the fight style, and it makes her feel what, Beck?
Like he's just not that into me.
I'm happy she knows, but time to step away. But he's like, but I am into her. And this man just stays lying, because no, you're not. But Beck says that she just wants him to say, Beck, this is exactly what I feel about you. But he doesn't. And so she's like, where's the passion? Where's the love? She said that he said earlier on one of like their first dates, he was talking about how if two people are obsessed with each other, they can't stop touching each other. And she noticed that he doesn't touch her at all. When they be out in public, he refuses to hold her hand. He doesn't even kiss her. She's the one that has to kiss him. And she said that she feels like she made herself this way, but she doesn't want to. But Danny said that he doesn't feel like this is a fair assumption. But the experts are like, Danny, she just told you how she felt, and you just said you didn't think that it was fair. But Beck continues, and she said that she noticed that when all the girls came in, all the guys complimented their wives except Danny. He didn't compliment her at all. And like, damn, Danny, for real? Well, I could definitely see that. But also, I do want to say that I do think that he does compliment her, but probably not all the time. But he knows that she's insecure, like really insecure. Remember the last episode where he put like sticky notes all over the house just to show her that, hey, she is beautiful? But he only did that because he was in trouble with her, so he was trying to make it up to her. But I just want to think, does he only compliment her when he's in trouble, or does he do it regularly that we're not seeing? But if she says that he doesn't, then I could see that he doesn't. Plus, I do always notice that she kisses him first and he doesn't really bother trying to kiss her first. So yeah, that could be the case that he doesn't compliment her at all. But I feel like she's chasing him too much. Like, you see this guy, he says that he doesn't love you, he doesn't compliment you, he doesn't kiss you, yet you still believe that he loves you, which is so strange to me, because why do you believe that when all evidence shows that he doesn't love you? And why do you continue to be in such a relationship when you know that he doesn't love you? It's like you're choosing to embarrass yourself. And I'm really enjoying it because you're a piece of shit. But like, from woman to woman, stand up. Honestly, yeah, stand up. You need to do better for yourself, like, for real. But Beck says that she doesn't want to go to final vows and walk down the aisle. Do they have an aisle? I don't know. She doesn't want to walk down the aisle for a guy that just feels maybe about her. And so the experts asked Danny how he feels, and he says that he feels like shit to make her feel this way. And he does look like he has some tears filming in his eyes. And I'm a bit confused because why? Why? You really have no feelings for this girl. So do you feel bad for what you did to her, or do you feel bad because you look bad because he did break that fourth wall and said, oh my gosh, you're gonna make me look like shit? So is he realizing that, oh my gosh, she's making me look like shit again, I'm gonna start crying so people have sympathy with me because I don't want everybody to think that I'm the bad guy when you are low-key a bad guy. But the experts want to know why isn't he doing the things that's gonna make her happy. And he gives us this long sob story about how the way he feels for Beck is the way he felt for his ex-girlfriend or partner. But that relationship crashed and burned. And so because of that, he now has his guard up and he doesn't want the same thing that happened in his past relationship to happen in this current relationship with Beck. And Beck hears all of that and she's like, oh my gosh, I have high hopes for this relationship. And like, what? What the fuck?
There's hope, you know? Because if he hasn't felt like this in years, then that means that it's real and you might be into me.
Honestly, I wouldn't marry Danny. I feel like he's not checked in emotionally. I feel like he's just here for the camera time. He's just here for the fun, and then he's gonna dip.
I am just a shit boyfriend, to be honest. I am. I ain't that good, to be honest.
But that is a very easy way of getting out of it. Don't hold me accountable. I'm just a shit boyfriend.
No, I'm not saying it like that.
Well, but you are.
But the experts tell him that he didn't even apologize. He didn't even tell Beck that, hey, I dropped the ball. It wasn't my intention. I'm sorry. And y'all know what this man does. He turns to Beck and he's like, Beck, I'm sorry. I dropped the ball. It wasn't my intention. I'm sorry. And yeah, everybody's like, what the fuck? This man really just said what the expert said, word for word, bar for bar. What?
I like hearing it, but I need to see it.
Yeah, and I'll try.
I can't keep on hearing it and then nothing changes.
Well, let me show you then.
Okay.
Let me show you.
Danny's so... Oh, maybe it is good that they're together because I feel like they both deserve each other. But anyways, it's time for the decision and they both pick to stay and then they go back and they sit down and Danny's like, the experts hate me and so does my wife. Like, Danny, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Moving on to Sam and Chris. So Chris said that he did put in effort in their relationship, but Sam cuts in and he said, no, I felt like that was performative. But Chris is like, no, it wasn't performative. I did give him flowers. I gave him a card. I even made dinner. I ran all out to show that I wanted to try for this man. But Sam said that he felt like Chris was just trying to go for himself, but he wasn't really trying to go for the both of them. But the experts asked them where did it all go wrong, and Sam said that it was after he called out Chris on his behavior. But Chris said that it was the second they got intimate, and oh, Sam looks a bit uncomfortable. He looks kind of embarrassed, honestly. But Chris says the reason why he didn't tell Sam was because he didn't want to embarrass him. But like, yeah, sure, let's tell everybody, national TV, about how Sam sucks in bed. Great. I'm sure that definitely won't embarrass him. Like, what the fuck, Chris? But it gets a bit depressing because everybody realizes that their favorite couple aren't a match. And so it's decision time and they both said leave. Duh. And that's the end of them. They hug. Honestly, I thought they would give us one last kiss, but they didn't. That's okay. I won't ask for more. Oh, my two favorite gay guys. My only gay guys. Sam was really hot. Nah, I'll never see that big forehead again. But next is Stella and Philip. So they announced that after the homestay event, they decided that after the experiment, they're gonna move to Stella's place. And everybody's happy except Beck. And I'm just like, oh, damn, girl. I know you mad.
Moving in.
That's a plan.
Yeah. So it is a plan. We got there.
And I feel like every woman can agree with that. When you don't understand your man's intentions, that's when you get frazzled, that's when you overthink, that's when you're in your head. When you know that the man is like, okay, let's do this, I think you really settle into that part. You really do.
Anyways, they both said stay. Duh. Last but not least, Gia and Scott. Oh my gosh. Y'all, ooh. But the ex got how he's doing, and the boy is nervous as fuck, and everybody is noticing. But then he turns to Gia, and he's like, Gia, I'm about to say a couple things that you're not gonna like, but I need to get it off my chest. But y'all, as he's talking, he's breathing hard as fuck. And honestly, I feel like we're watching an abuse victim finally stepping up and telling everybody what's going on in their relationship. It's honestly really sad to watch.
Get a bit nervous. What I'm going to talk about is feelings where I...
Take a breath for a minute. Breathe.
It's a weakness of mine. When I care about someone so much, I feel like I can't speak my voice when I'm concerned. It's a weakness of mine.
But Scott said that whenever he wants to bring something up, he and Gia start arguing because, you know, she makes it into an argument. And then he said that she says a lot of things that bring him down. And so they asked him, what does she say? And he's struggling to say it. Like, the man looks scared. And so the experts are like, well, we believe that it's a problem that you can't even say what you want to say in front of Gia because you're scared about making her upset. And Gia's like, well, yeah, he has. And girl, we know he has because clearly you traumatized him enough for him to be scared to say anything again to make you upset. Duh! But expert John speaks up and he's like, we know that your little relationship here is fake. On the past commitment ceremonies, whenever we ask about how it's going on in you guys' relationship, you guys always say, oh, it's fine, oh, it's great, and you guys never give us details of anything. Now you're sitting here petrified of Gia because you know that she's gonna be upset with whatever you say. So you need to stop being scared and speak up right now. And y'all, he sure does. So he says that about once a week, he's pressured by her to say, I love you. And whenever he doesn't, she starts talking down on him, saying that you're crumb, you're not a man, you're not a provider. And damn, Gia, are you serious? Why in your head do you think that if you say all of that, he's gonna say, okay, I love you? Who would say I love you after all of that? But he said that she calls her pretty much every name under the sun. And she's like, that's wild. But then, oh my gosh, he starts making excuses for her saying, oh, but you know, Gia just gets like that when she's upset. She doesn't really mean anything. She just, you know, she's just hurt, and hurt people hurt people. I'm just like, Scott, stop making excuses for this bitch. Like, what are you doing? But he says that he just feels completely destroyed and worthless. And whenever she says things like this, it just pushes him back. And yeah, no wonder. Like, I don't know why she thinks that would make anybody say, I love you after she says all of those things. But then Gia said that she told him that she loved him yesterday, and she has never done that before. But after she told him that she loved him, he didn't say it back. And so because of that, she felt rejected. And because she felt rejected, she's been spiraling. But you spiraling isn't gonna make him say, I love you. You're 35. Grow up. Connect the dots. What are you doing?
Because I felt hurt, and I was like, let me hurt him. That's the truth. That's a pretty big revelation and also hurdle for Scott to have to handle and walk around eggshells trying to not have you have this reaction.
But the experts tell her that her behavior is going to make Scott run away. But she said that she doesn't feel secure in her relationship because Scott can move her and her daughter to him, but he can just up and leave whenever he wants to, and basically leaving her and her daughter stranded. Which, yeah, I do understand, but that's why you guys get married first before you guys move in with each other. Like, you are the one saying, let's move in, let's move in, let's move in. So why are you now scared about moving in with this man that doesn't make you feel secure when you're the one pressuring him to move in together so fast without, you know, putting a ring on it? But Scott said that all of this is news to him because she's always told him that she feels secure in the relationship. But she said that she could never say the truth because whenever she brings up an issue, he shuts it down immediately. And he's like, wait, what? No, that's never happened. And you know what? I really don't believe Gia because, you know, she's a liar, but it is what it is. But I just feel like it's crazy that they're dealing with all of this now at the last commitment ceremony when they won't get another commitment ceremony. Like, why do you guys do this? It makes no sense to me. But the experts tell them to basically figure out the issues and put all their last efforts into this last week that they have together. And basically it's time for them to make the decision, and they both choose to stay. And yeah, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Oh, episode 34. So we see Alyssa and David, and she said that David blindsided her because, you know, he basically said all of that at the commitment ceremony. And so because of that, she's going off on him. And, oh, girl, what are you doing? Like, y'all should honestly be talking things out, not you just berating this man. But she's like, I've given this man so many chances to speak. But as she says that, she just keeps cutting him off every single time he's trying to speak. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so over this woman.
Blindsided.
Because you don't talk to me.
And for
You
me,
don't talk to me. I
No,
need
no,
you to talk to me.
I felt like
just,
it, you know.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
I've got a lot to say.
Hey.
And there's multiple
I never,
times, like,
ever, tread on you.
you know, where I've honestly felt that I was shut
Do you
down.
know what else really upset me? You've never spoken to me about those things.
Let me just allow.
And then you didn't
from
speak
the bottom
up.
of my heart,
Yeah,
and
but
where I
babe,
failed was
why
I
don't you
didn't
speak up?
And when I,
You need to
but-
speak up. You have a voice.
The clip I just showed you guys, by the way, that was like the 10th time that she talked over him. She's been talking over him this whole entire time. Enough. And I heard a lot of people say in like, I think part 1 or part 2, that they didn't like Alyssa and I should just wait because I will see it myself. And I see it myself. But thanks for spoiling it, but I see it now. Anyways, David surprises me by saying that he still wants to work things out with Alyssa, and like, oh, why? But Alyssa's like, oh, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I just need that minute. Give me a minute. Let me have a minute. Like, bitch, we heard you. You need your fucking minute. Go take 10, 20, 30. I don't fucking know. Go. Moving on. We now see a scene that is so fucking shocking. I can't even explain it. I'll just let you guys see it for yourself. Here's the clip.
The experiment's most tumultuous couple have decided to put their best foot forward and have turned over a new leaf. Cheers!
Love you.
Love you.
Can y'all believe that? I thought I would never see the day where those two would be friends again, but here we are.
Hated each other, loved each other, hated each other. It's been like a back and forth. But I feel like right now we relate to each other more than we ever have.
But just like, oh my gosh, girl, we have so much in common because we both love our men, but our men do not love us. And like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Danny doesn't love Beck, but Scott definitely loves you. That man is already trying to buy you a house, is already looking for schools for your daughter, and he's doing this while he likes you. Imagine when he's actually in love with you. Like, you are in nowhere near the same position as Beck right now. I promise you, it could be so much worse. So much worse. But back to Scott. So we see Scott in the apartment all by himself, and he's really upset because Gia isn't texting him or answering his calls, and he doesn't know where she's at all. But then he tells us that after the whole commitment ceremony that happened last night, they went back home and she was so mad, and she said that you threw me under the bus. And he's so confused because, hello, no he didn't. But he's just so tired of her always getting upset, walking out, not taking any feedback, and he's just so exhausted because she keeps doing this every single time. And he said that he can't fall in love with somebody that keeps doing this. But then we go back to Beck and Gia, and they were there giggling and laughing, agreeing that Scott threw them under the bus. Like, y'all are both delusional as fuck. Y'all should not be together unless if you actually want to be together, then go ahead and be together so you can both drive each other miserable and then realize that you guys are just miserable fucking people. Nobody wants to be with y'all. Just saying.
We lay our souls out on the table.
Right. And
You told him you loved him. I told
Yeah.
Danny that I love him. They haven't said it back.
It's like, oh, well, when we have an argument, it pushes me back. Or when we have this,
Right,
it
stop,
retracts me.
Danny.
So I'm like, sorry you have an opinion, you want a robot.
We cook, we clean, we look after our men. I expect my man looking after me, adoring me, right?
Y'all, they just start rambling. Beck said that Danny isn't into her. They only bang once a week and she wants it 5 times a week and he's just not giving it to her. I wonder why. But then we see Danny at home and at least he got a message from Beck, and that message is that she's at the pub with Gia, and he can't believe it because, hello, you're at the pub with Gia? What? Honestly, how in the world did this happen? But Danny said that he wanted to fix their relationship, but he can't fix it if she's not even here. But we go back to the girls basically mocking the men, saying that the guys are just so intimidated by strong women. Like, yeah, sure.
David's like, I haven't had a voice, I can't speak. Alyssa's so scary.
Yeah.
Daniel. Oh, well, I'm like this. Scott, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I can't do this. Scott, shut up. What, you're intimidated by strong women? Is that what it is?
I don't
Or
get
are
it.
you weak men?
Beck just continues to be vicious. The girl never learns. But then, y'all, she said neither of the guys are even hot. She said that Danny looks like a frog and Scott isn't hot because he got a big pointy ass nose. And girl, you are the last person to be talking about anybody's looks, okay? I'm so serious. You look like that fucking sloth from Ice Age. Look like that hunchback guy. I don't even remember his name because he was so damn ugly. The hunchback of Notre Dame. You look like him. Like, you should not be talking about anybody's looks. Anybody's looks. Look at the way you do. I promise you that. Plus, didn't you say that Danny's out of your league? That Danny's better than you? Didn't you say that? That came out of your mouth, by the way. Because remember, in like, I don't know, fucking episode 10, where she was with all the girls saying like, I think Danny thinks that he's better than me. Whole time Danny didn't say that. That was just your insecurities coming out. So you know Danny is better looking than you. And this is not even me defending Danny. This is me strictly defending Scott because, bitch, once again, you are the last fucking person to be talking about anybody.
You know what? Find another person like us. I dare you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I honestly hope they do because at the very least, Scott does not deserve this at all. Anyways, it's the next day and we found out that Scott slept in a different apartment, but he told us that Gia did finally call him back. But when she did, he noticed that she was at the pub and he could hear Beck in the background basically talking shit about him. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing for you. For both of them, honestly, for both Scott and Gia, because you just got caught talking shit about your man while your man is on the phone. Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But he goes back to his apartment so he and Gia can talk, and they sit down and he's like, I called you yesterday and you lied to me. You told me that you were at the gym with nobody, but I heard Beck in the background and I knew you guys were drinking at the pub. And she's like, yeah, okay, but like, I only lied because you don't like when girls drink. And he's like, what? I never said that. And yeah, he never said that because I remember when they all met for like that family whatever thing, and his friends came over and that one shitty friend of his is like, hey Gia, do you drink? Because you know Scott doesn't drink. And Gia said, yeah, I still drink, but you know, just not with Scott. So yeah, you clearly made it well aware that Scott knows that you drink, but you guys just don't drink together. So why are you lying now? Why are you always fucking lying? Especially when it's so obvious that you're lying. Like, what the fuck? But Scott said that he's upset because she's hanging out with Beck, and we all know how Beck is. She's a terrible fucking person. I'd be mad too if I had a close friend that was hanging out with Beck. Like, that's a badass influence right there. Like, no, I don't want you hanging out with that bitch. What the fuck? But Gia's like, oh my gosh, I needed to hang out with her. I have no more friends left. Of course I need to hang out with her. But like, Rachel, Alyssa, Stella, any one of those girls, you really picked the worst of the worst? Is it because you're just looking for somebody that's worse than you? So that's why you picked Beck? I don't fucking know, but why would you pick Beck out of everybody here? But then she continues saying that she just wanted to let loose, or she wanted to drink, and that he should calm down because they weren't even saying anything bad about him. But liar, liar, pants on fire. Beck was calling that man ugly. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? Like, what are you doing?
Last night I was on tipping point. I didn't want to be here anymore. I literally wanted to leave.
Why didn't you?
Because I was starting to get emotional. I want to be with you and I want to sort it out and I want to know what's going on. Like, I just don't understand. It's not worth running away when I know that we can fix it. I want to fall in love with you, but then these spirals happen and I don't know what to do. I'm really hurting.
Gia tells us that it hurts to see him like this, but girl, bye. But she does tell him that she's sorry and that she only does this because she's just spiraling. And he's like, you keep saying that you're sorry, but you keep doing this over and over and over again. But that's okay. I'll forgive you this one and only last time. If you do it again, I'm gonna leave. This time for sure. I will definitely leave. And then he hugs her like, oh my gosh. This is a grade A simp. Grade A? I think I would give him a grade S simp. Actually, no. Grade S simp would be if he stayed after she cheated or something. If he does actually stay after she cheats, then he would be a grade S simp. But for now, he's just a grade A simp. It's just so bad. I mean, I would love a simp like that, but like, have some self-respect. A little bit. Not a lot. A little bit. He has none right now. But now we see Beck, who is feeling regretful. No shocker there.
I was mean yesterday about Daniel. I called him a couple of names in my anger. So let's hope that doesn't come up. But yeah.
Yo, after Danny watches this back, she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was months ago, Danny. It wasn't my fault. It was all Gia's fault. Like, I can see it now. Oh my gosh. But Danny said that he's just ready to move on and move forward. And so that's exactly what they do. Honestly, whatever. I feel like he's not really checked in, so he doesn't really care that much. Anyways, it's the last final task. And so this is the task that's going to challenge all the relationships. And so all the brides meet up together and all the goons meet up together. And they all walk into like this dinner table and they all see their names, but they all see other people's names. And apparently this task is for them to meet the alternative matches. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't know Married at First Sight did this, but this is such a great idea. Plus, I'm really hoping that Scott and David will find a better match for them, because please, they deserve good people, please. But some of the guys look nervous, but some of the guys look excited. Danny, but Scott, he looks mad, like straight up mad. Like, as if somebody killed his puppy or something. Like, why are you angry? But the only person that's actually up for this is Danny. Is anybody surprised? Nah.
My point of view on it is, boys, in the normal world, if you went and met up with a woman and you didn't tell your wife, obviously you've got a big dilemma. Like, that's cheating. But this is a task on an experiment. I think the way we should look at it as men today is we talk to the girls about our relationships and just tell them about our wives and get some feedback. None of us are here to cheat. I'm not looking at it as another option.
I feel like he's using that as an excuse to explore. Like, go ahead. Nobody cares.
All right, we're all in.
Cheer up. No one's died, mate.
Not yet.
Y'all, Scott's state up looks terrifying. Oh my gosh. I have like the worst screenshot of him here. Just to remind me of how scary he looks. But like, yes, give me a man that gets mad just at the thought of talking to another girl. Oh, I love it. But as other guys are freaking out, and clearly some of them are not into it at all, the girls, on the other hand, they're hella excited. Beck is like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna try to find myself another man because, you know, her man's not treating her right. Stella's like, oh my gosh, if the guys are hot, then obviously I'm gonna talk to them, but, you know, I got a man back at home. Rachel, on the other hand, she's terrified because she's not even thinking about the guys. She's thinking about Steven and thinking that maybe a goddess is gonna walk in and, like, you know, steal Steven's heart. And so, yeah, she's freaking out about that. But then Beck said that she's really excited because she knows that Danny's wearing this ugly ass shirt and she can't wait for his match to see it because, you know, that's not a turn on. Beck, what the fuck? Anyways, we see other girls and they're all hot. So Rachel, eesh. Good luck to you. But the girls come in and they all greet the guys, and here are the matchups. Philip is with Shannon. She's 37 and a personal assistant. But if I was Philip, I would personally stick with Stella because, you know, I do love Stella and I do have a bias. So yeah, just saying. I would never switch up on my girl Stella. Crystal is matched up with David. We don't get her name or occupation, but as long as she actually lets David get a word in their conversations, I'll be happy. Steven is matched up with Stephanie. She's 31 and a registered nurse. I will say this, she is a beautiful woman. Goddess level beautiful? No. So Rachel, you have nothing to worry about, but yeah, the girl still is beautiful. Danny got Chanel. She's 27 and a business executive. And last is Laura, and she's matched with Scott. She's 37 and a sales coordinator. And Laura, if you can give Scott peace, I will love you forever. Oh my gosh, please, please. But so far, Scott and David said that they feel sick and they just want to stick with their partners, which kills me because y'all are the ones struggling the most with your partners. I do not condone cheating. I really don't. I really wish that they ended their relationships with their previous partners before they got here so they could be like, you know what, ladies, I'm a single man. Let me go ahead and get to know y'all. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that this is a test. And so they would be flunking the test if they were flirting with these girls. But like, fuck! The girls they got back at home are horrible. Oh my gosh. But Scott is talking to Laura. He goes as far to say that he's not comfortable with having a conversation with her because he's happy in his current relationship. And okay, whatever makes you happy, Scott, will make me happy. So yeah. Oh my gosh. But then Scott dips to the bathroom and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? You gotta throw up or shit? Like, what's going on for you to run to the bathroom? But then David tells Crystal that it was nice to meet her, but he also got a girl back at home. And I'm just like, okay, David, glad you didn't fold, even though she is personally to me the hottest girl there. But damn, you didn't fold. That girl legit could have been your soulmate. Just saying, but whatever. Fuck! What did they say? Oh, wait, that's the other way around. I was about to say, don't let your girlfriend stop you from finding your wife. But in this case, they're already married, so don't let your wife stop you from finding your girlfriend. Anyways, I did not even encourage that phrase at all. I fucking hate that phrase. But in this case, I would let it pass. I absolutely would let that pass.
Wow, sick. Oh my God, it's like straight away, I'm out.
I'm going to be very clear, like, I felt sick.
I was feeling the same.
Personally, the only reason why I sat down is because I wanted to say to Laura, the girl that was there, like, thanks for coming. I'm in a good relationship.
And I felt so much better when I left. Like, I'm having issues with my missus, and the only thing I'm thinking right now is to get back to her and mend it.
But now we head over to the girls, and their guys are coming in, and ooh, that first guy made such an entrance because, oh my gosh, he really cute. I'm like, whose man is this? Whose man is this? But his name is Connor, and he's with Alyssa, and fuck. Why does Alyssa keep getting all the hot, good men? Why? I don't like that at all. Anyways, Anthony is with Stella, Ignatius is with Rachel, and Rachel, girl, her man fine as fuck. Like, yeah, he fine as fuck. Fine as fuck. Yeah, I would pick this man over Steven's lame ass any day. But first pick is definitely Connor. Okay, that man, he got it. Face, body, whew. My gosh. Taylor is with Beck and James get Gia. We don't get the ages or occupations for many of those guys, which suck, but I think we get them later. But I prefer when we get it right away so I can like keep track of everybody, but it is what it is. James goes in for a hug to like, you know, hug Gia, but Gia said no, which shocked me because I really thought that she would go in for a hug because after that whole fight with Scott, but whatever. Alyssa though, that girl's having a blast.
Yes. You talk to me. How old are you?
31.
Why do I always get the young ones? I like it.
But back to the guys. So Danny's really disappointed with David and Scott because they all agreed to stay as a group, but really? I feel like that was more you than them, but okay. Clearly you were the only one that was really excited for this. Everybody else looked really nervous as fuck, but okay. But Steven said that Scott and David are just having issues in their relationships and they don't really want to make it worse, so he really understands why they just ran away. But he also mentioned that all Scott did was just tell the experts how Gia actually treats him, and just him saying that made Gia so upset at him, and so he thinks that he doesn't want Scott to like get even more trouble with Gia when he gets back home. But we go back to Danny and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that these men are hiding in the toilet. 50 years ago men were fighting in the trenches, yet we got men over here being cowards because they can't talk to these women. I'm just like, Danny, shut up. Shut up, okay? I know you're also in a shitty relationship, but you have the power in that relationship, okay? Your wife is crazy, but at the end of the day, your word is final. They, on the other hand, they are victims. Please. I completely understand why they're hiding in the bathroom. But the two girls that David and Scott left are pissed. Crystal's like, what the fuck? I could have been your perfect match. And yes, I agree. Or because we have seen like half the cast, not even like 60% of the cast not make it, so you know they could have been part of that 60%. But seeing how David has been moving throughout this whole entire experiment and how he's been dealing with Alyssa, if Crystal was just half the crazy Alyssa is, I do think that they could be actually a good perfect match because David, he can handle that. He just needs somebody that's not as crazy.
I'm Crystal Diaz, I'm 32. I'm looking for like medium to tall height, fit body, but soft and super kind at the same time. My background is Filipino with a dash of Spanish. Dash of Spanish? Yeah, I like to call it the Filipino side. Are you worried? Come on, it's in our blood. It's just like, I feel like we're so loving and passionate, and so when we get fired up, like, we get fired up.
Isha. I don't know. I low-key feel like she could be another Alyssa. I'm just hoping that she's not as bad as Alyssa, okay? But why are they picking such people for David? I don't know. I just feel like maybe they should find somebody his own wavelength. Instead, they're finding like people a bit too much for him, okay? Give him somebody with a calm personality, please. But Crystal said that he should be confident enough in his relationship to be able to talk to her. But David is like, nah, when your heart is with somebody, then your heart is with somebody and you're not really seeing anybody else. And yeah, I guess. But we see Alyssa and she's getting along with her fine-ass man, and y'all, his body is insane.
I'm a track and field sprinter, so 100 metres and 200 metres. Currently second fastest in Australia for beach sprinting. So, well, what's your type? Obviously somebody like sporty and motivated, and then also I'm a very big talker. But usually I just start yapping away and talking shit. So the ones who give it back, I'm just like, yeah, we're on. Like, I like you.
Honestly, I do think that he and Alyssa could be perfect for each other because right now, I'm not really hating this. Plus, he said that he owns 2 companies right now. One is a gym and the other one is like an NDIA disability support thing. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to support my wife. And Alyssa is geeking and she's so happy to hear this because remember, she said that she wanted somebody that was more on her level. And to her, that's not David, but I could definitely see Connor being more on her level. Even though I do feel like David is doing perfectly fine, I feel like he doesn't need to overstress just to be on her level because why? Why do you need to do that when you're perfectly content in your way of life? Your bills are getting paid, you have extra money, you're doing what you want to do, you have time to chill. you don't need to do any more than you're doing now if you're happy with the way life is going for you.
He's very different to David. He's louder and he's got a lot to say.
Adrenaline junkie since birth. That's why I don't know how I ended up in this sport, where it's literally the least exciting sport.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I can't just do like the one job. So I do like go to the gym, go to like NDIS disability sports and help people.
You talk a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you ADHD too?
Yeah, I was trying to hold it back at the start, so I seem normal, but yeah.
Not gonna lie, I feel like Alyssa has met her own match with somebody that talks just as much as she does, because jeez, and when you look around the table, it looks like other people are getting irritated because they're both talking so freaking much. Shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh.
I feel like you talk a lot as well, though. You talk a lot as well.
Oh, no, I don't shut up. I get sick and tired of hearing my own voice in my apartment. That's why
But kind of said something along the lines of, oh my gosh, I hope nobody's husbands get mad or upset. And Alyssa says, oh my gosh, I know my husband's going to be so upset and he might come for me, but I know that he won't come for me. And I'm like, oh girl, that's a dangerous game to play because you don't know if he might actually come for you. So yeah. But Alyssa tells Connor that David can talk to any girl he wants to at the dinner thing. And she's only 70% checked into the relationship. And oh my gosh, Alyssa, keep in mind, this is only the case because that man finally stood up for himself. And when he finally did, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this with you anymore. You blindsided me. You threw me under the bus. How dare you not tell me this? You betrayed me. Oh my gosh, I just wanted a man that could challenge me. Don't speak. I'm still speaking. Like, my gosh. But now Alyssa's talking about how she likes David, but they are the opposite. And she can see an actual potential thing going on between her and Connor. And, okay. Whatever. We see Philip and his alternative match, and they're just talking about Stella, which I feel like is so cute because, oh my gosh, like imagine your man going on a date with his alternative match, but all you can talk about is you. Like, that is so cute. I love that. I don't like that for the alternative match because, oh my gosh, your man is talking about their girl. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. But then we see Rachel, and even though her man is pretty cute, all she can think about is Steven. And so she's thinking about grabbing her bag and going back home because she doesn't even want to be here, but you know, she's staying there. But her and her match start talking about Steven and how much she likes him, and she just keeps saying, my man, my man, my man, or my hubby, my hubby, my hubby, whatever. The alternative match notices, and he's like, oh my gosh, y'all are so cute, whatever. But oh my gosh, I'm just not thinking about it. Not just not thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it even more. Being an alternative match, you're going on a date with somebody that could potentially be your soulmate, and they're talking about their other soulmates. Like, oh my God. That would kill me if I was the alternative match. Like, I'd be so pressed. Like, no, babe, me and you are supposed to be together, okay? I'm the love of your life. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I would crash out so fucking bad. Oh, they're doing better than me because I would never. But then we see Steven, and he's talking to his girl, and all he could do is talk about Rachel and how much he likes Rachel. And okay, Steven. Honestly, I thought that he didn't really like Rachel, and I just thought that he's just like trying to go with the flow before he just drops on her like, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. So the fact that he's actually talking about Rachel and saying how much he likes her and adores her with this other woman got me second guessing my first choices. And yeah, maybe he actually is really into Rachel. But now back to the girls. Back. So Beck asks all the guys to raise their hand if they're circumcised, and all of them look really uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck, Beck? Then she's talking to her partner, I think his name is Taylor, and Taylor brings up that he does boxing, and Beck is like, oh, you do? Well, my man does boxing too. He's like Conor McGregor, but like, you know, the Timu version of him. I'm just like, oh, okay. It wasn't really that funny, but okay. But then Taylor asks what she's looking for in a partner, and she's like, well, somebody that's actually gonna fuck me. My gosh.
Fantastic.
I'm coming at the right time then.
Yeah, exactly. My husband and I, we hardly have any sex, so I just think he's not into me. But he won't say it. No, you're not into me.
Yeah,
say
exactly.
it. You're not into me. Listen, no, I'm not dogging him. Like, I love him. Like I'm in love.
Really? You love him?
But my worry is that what happens is when I'm left heartbroken. So right now, I'm trying to leave.
But Taylor said that he notices that Beck isn't happy in her relationship, and so he wants to slide in there and take his girl back. And Taylor, I promise you, you do not want this girl, okay? You have dodged a massive, and I mean massive bullet. Take the good parts that you can get of her now and walk away. Because, oh my gosh, she's not even showing you the good parts of her right now. Like, what are we even talking about here? But then we see Danny, and he's with his partner, Chanel, and he's like, damn, with all the drama that's happening around, with all the guys running away, I'm really glad that somebody isn't feeding into that drama, because somebody else would have definitely fed into that drama, aka Beck. And I do have to say, I do agree with Danny because Chanel is very poised and soft-spoken, and she's the complete opposite of Beck. And whenever they're talking, she never cuts that man off. Like, the man speaks freely, and she's a great listener, and most of all, she doesn't cut him off like Beck would have done. And Danny's also noticing this.
I'm a really good therapist, I have to say. I'm a listener.
Thank you, Chanel. She was a nice woman, really friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
And she had calm and energy, completely different to Beck. It was actually quite nice to have some peace.
Back to the girls. So the next person we see is Gia, and she's bitching about her relationship with Scott. And James, her partner, is like, oh, baby girl, you wouldn't have to deal with this if you were with me. Ha ha ha. I'm just like, ugh. Ugh. You better have money. What the fuck? But then we found more about him, and that he works in sales, and that he's been engaged not once but twice. So yeah, is that a red flag? I feel like that's a red flag. Remember Elise? She's been engaged like 5 or 6 times. That was crazy. But James tells Gia that she should come home with him, and she's like, if I was single, then I would love to. And like, what? If you were single, girl, just say no. All you could just say is no. You don't have to say if I was single. No is a perfectly good answer. But back to the guys. Danny's bitching about how the guys left, but honestly, I'm not mad that they did. If they felt uncomfortable, then they had every right to leave. So yeah, could they have stuck it out and just been like nice with the girls, just have a regular conversation? Yeah, they could have, but you know, they didn't want to, so yeah, it's whatever. But also, I don't know why Danny is that upset, because the man is having a great time, okay? After David and Scott left, he basically is like, ladies, settle down, ladies. I'll be your man now. I'll be your man, and your man. And basically all the girls are like around him, and he's giggling and laughing. The man's having a great time. So I'm just like, you are not losing at all, okay? This is a win for you, so shut the fuck up. But Philip said that he wants to leave, and so he asked Danny if he wants to leave, and he's like, no. I'm just having a friendly conversation with other girls, so... yeah. David and Scott finally they leave the bathroom, and they're heading out the door, and Philip also follows them to, you know, leave as well. And Danny and Steven notice, but Danny says that he doesn't want to leave, but Steven doesn't say anything, but he also doesn't get up either, which is quite interesting. I think maybe he just was just having a good time talking to his alternative match about, you know, Rachel, so he just wanted to like stick it through. So yeah, I'm not really gonna fault him for staying. If he wants to stay, that's fine. Danny, that man's just having a great time. That's why he doesn't want to leave. So yeah. Oh my gosh.
Is Danny coming?
Daddy.
Goes to show, bro.
Does everything you need to know. She doesn't care, bro.
My relationship is so important with Gia right now. I just wouldn't give any other person the time of day.
Okay, James, introduce yourself to the group.
Back to Gia and James. So Gia tells James, yeah, I want a man that can pay for everything. And James is like, okay, yeah, then let's get married right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Gia loves that, duh. I also love that, duh. If anybody wants to pay for all my stuff, you can pay for all my stuff. You know, I'll put my cash up in the bio. No, I'm kidding. Imagine. Oh my gosh, I really want, you know those pay pigs? I really want one so bad. I had one before, but it only lasted like 3 days. Man. Oh, why can't a man just be happy to just give me all his money? Like, please, please. But then Gia starts complaining about Scott again, and Rachel doesn't like that, and so she steps in and she's like, Gia, stop. Scott loves you and adores you, so you don't need to be saying all of that. But James is like, no, that man is dogging you out. I'm like, what? James, you don't even know Scott. What the fuck are you talking about? He's just trying to say whatever he can to take this woman from her man.
That's not acceptable in my eyes. A man should not do that to a woman.
Yes.
Ever.
Hell, James, put it on some ice.
No, never. You need a man that respects you, that loves you, and wants to be with you, and jumps from the roof trying to say, this is my chick.
It's not good right now, to be honest, and I feel very unsettled with him and I.
What do you mean,
Sorry, you're ridiculous.
But James said that Gia is his perfect woman. She's tattooed, outspoken, and so on. Like, what's the so on? What is it? Like, honestly, she doesn't really inherit that many good values, so what else is so on? But also, if he wants her, then he should take her, because I really need Scott to be happy with somebody else. Please! But Gia said that James is an alpha, and he's a bit pushy, and she really likes that, and... oh, you do? Okay. But James said that he can wait for her, and she's like, yeah, sure, because I'm done in like a week. And I'm like, oh, Gia, why would you say that?
But James, like, he wants a piece of Gia, and do you know what? Sitting there adoring her, it's what she's not getting from Scott. So, yeah, I think questions have been raised.
Anyways, back to Danny and Steven. So Danny's complaining about how the guys left, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the guys left me and Steven to defend ourselves against all these beautiful, luscious women. Like, okay, Danny, you're in such a terrible spot. Sucks to be you. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you going on about? Like, the man is legit having the time of his life. I don't know what he's complaining about. Back to Gia and James. So this man is really pushing it and pushing it a bit too hard. He's asking for her Instagram and she said no. He's asking for her number and she said no. He's like, come on, baby. After a week, we could start texting. And she's like, oh my gosh, James, no. And I'm just like, geez, James, what the fuck are you doing? But Gia, you did say you like pushy men and he's being pushy. But like, do you still like pushy men after this? Because this would be a turn off to me. But y'all, this man realizes that she's not going to take out her phone and put his number in her phone, and so he finds paper, finds a pen, writes down his number, tries to give it to her, and just like, James, no, I said no. And Becca's like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. Like, what the fuck? And then she's like, give it to me, James, I'll take it because she's gonna need it. I promise you, she's gonna need it. And she takes his number. I'm like, oh my gosh, Beck, what the fuck are you doing?
James, give it to me and I'll give it to her when she needs it later on. She will. Whoa.
I'm what? I'm Cupid.
Episode 35. So Philip tells Stella that he was just way too anxious to even entertain his match. Steven tells Rachel that all they did was just have a chat. David tells Alyssa that he didn't even entertain any of those girls. Alyssa tells David, oh my gosh, we just had fun. I just sat with the girls and we all just had a good chat. It was great hanging out with the girls. Like, she really did not go into detail what she was saying and doing with Connor. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. A lot left out, I see. Then we see Beck and she tells Danny about Gia and James. Then we see Scott and he tells Gia that he didn't even go through with the date, which makes Gia really happy. But like, hello, you were literally on a date with this other man trying to see how much money he has, talking about you can see after a week and so on. Like, why are you happy that Scott didn't go on a date with somebody? Yeah, you were fully involved with somebody else. Like, what? But she tells Scott that other girls decided to stay, but they didn't do anything wrong. And then the editors proceed to show us everything she did wrong.
In the real world, if I went out, yes, I would date you. He would not stop. Do you make a good amount of money?
Enough.
What's your vibe on a relationship in terms of finances? And I said, yeah, like we've had differences. I said, but look, yeah, I'm in love with him. So like, and he goes, oh, I respect that. I said, then back off. I am not a girl who cheats and flirts. I don't do this. I'm done in a week. Find me on maths somewhere. I've been posted everywhere. Stop, like respect it.
So Gia is a liar. No shocker there. Scott tells us that he does trust Gia, which is very unfortunate, but okay. But everybody has one more test before their final vows. And I'm just like, damn. I thought the other thing was the final test, but okay, I guess this is the final test. But this is a very important final task because everybody gets an iPad and they're all going to see exactly what their partners were doing during this whole alternate match date thing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank goodness, because Scott can see what Gia has been up to and David can see what, what's her name? Alyssa has been up to, and then they can finally leave their matches and then they can get together. They can run off in the distance and be happy together, and yeah. But David said that he's not worried for himself, but he's worried for some of the other guys because he thinks that some of the other guys' girls did not keep it classy. Whole time, his girl was not the one to keep it classy, but okay. But Alyssa's watching David's tapes and she's having a great time watching, but she's like, oh my gosh, why didn't the guys just stay and have a good time? My goodness. My girl, you know exactly why you're saying that. Come on.
Why do I always get the young ones? I like it. What's your star sign?
Sagittarius.
Saggy, the fire one. I'm an Aries, so I'm fire. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I can't show you where though.
Is it on your ass? Drop your pants?
Yeah, if I have to. Let me do some squats first, so it looks like.
Is it on your ass? Is it actually?
No, I actually don't.
So what's interesting before they even got the iPad and started watching is that they had a mini conversation before this with Alyssa saying that she doesn't think it's bad to have a chat with these people. But David said, no, I'm going to agree to disagree with you on that because the task was to see if the grass is greener on the other side. So if you're engaging with these people, it's like you're testing to see if the grass is actually greener on the other side. But if you choose not to engage with these people, then it shows that you're not trying to see if the grass is actually greener. But Alyssa's adamant that that's not the case here and that all she was doing was just talking to these people. That's it. She just thinks it's a simple chat. Nothing more, nothing less. But now we go back to the present and we're seeing David watching and yeah, he's not happy at all.
He's gonna be mortified that I'm here with another man.
What about him on a date with another girl? How's that make you feel?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling uncertain right now. I am 70 cent.
Oh wow, okay.
You know, I actually don't care if my husband comes for me. He can come for me, but he ain't coming for me.
Far out, man.
So David's done watching and the man is pissed because clearly Alyssa wanted to know if the grass was greener on the other side, and she kept asking this man so many questions about himself to, you know, see if he's better than David. And not only that, but she lied about trying to network with him, because none of this was about networking, because hello, trying to know what his sign is that really about networking? No, it's not about networking. And not only that, but he's also not happy with the disrespect, because remember, she said that David's not gonna come for her, when in fact he could very much come for her. And so David walks out and he sits down, and yeah, the man's not happy at all. But he explains this text for her again, and she's like, oh my gosh, it was just a chit chat, nothing more, nothing less. And he calls her out of her bullshit, and it's like, no, you knew exactly what the test was, so stop trying to act dumb. And then he brings up how she asked the guy to drop his pants, and she's like, oh my gosh, it was just a joke, it's not that serious. And he tells her, if I were to tell a girl that, then you'll be rightly pissed off. And yeah, I'd be pissed off too if my future man were to tell a girl, hey, drop off your pants. Like, who wouldn't be mad about that? But he said that she made him a laughingstock, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's not that serious. And y'all, she just continues to double down, saying that she did nothing wrong and her and the girls were just having fun. But no, some of the girls kept it respectful, aka Stella and, you know, Rachel. Definitely not Beck and definitely not Gia. It was y'all three that were acting up. The other girls, they kept it cool. But David asked her if they have each other on socials, and she keeps saying no over and over and over again. And he keeps asking her over and over and over again. Finally, she's like, okay, well, he did send me a friend request and I did accept it. And like, Alyssa, what the fuck? And how could you lie so boldly like that when he kept asking you over and over and over again if you guys had each other on socials? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'll be honest right now, I don't want to even continue this conversation. I'm just going to walk out because that's how I feel.
Great.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed too. And you threw me under the bus and blindsided me and haven't been real with me for half of this experiment and wasted my time. So
I did not waste your time.
You wasted my time. How am I meant to feel when you blindside me?
Alyssa, you could have handled that better.
No.
Her turning this around on him is crazy. Like, bitch, what? Nah, I would have to beat her up. As a woman, I would have to beat her up. If you were a man, don't put your hands on her, but I'll fight her for you. Okay, David? Trust me. But he said that all he wanted was empathy because what she did hurt him. And she's like, oh, yeah, I get that, but hurt people hurt people. And like, what? What the fuck? What did he do to hurt you? Are you really talking about how he brought up his problems during the expert? Seriously? But she's like, if you're done, then I'm done too. Like, what? Alyssa, what the fuck? Like, honestly, you guys, I fucking hate Alyssa. I can't stand this bitch. But then he puts his ring on this, like, I think that thing that pushes the suitcases. He puts his ring on top of that. And Alyssa comes over and she just throws her ring at him. And like, bitch, at the very least, you could have handed it to him. You didn't have to throw it at him, but whatever. She threw it at him at the floor and then she walks off as if she's the victim. You're not even the victim here, bitch. What the fuck are you even doing?
I'm done too. Here you go. I'm done.
Alyssa said throughout this relationship that she wants me to challenge her. And here I am challenging her. She's not taking it on board. All I wanted her to do was just acknowledge the fact that my feelings are valid in this relationship.
Anyways, we move on to Rachel and Steven. So they both watched the clips and they're both really happy with what each other saw, because really what each other was doing is just hyping up the other person. So yeah, I'd be really happy if I saw that. And yeah, they're good. Stella and Philip are next. Also the same thing. They saw that each other did great and nobody betrayed anybody. But what was interesting is that when Philip was watching his video on Stella, he noticed Gia and James were talking and he's like, oh my gosh, because he noticed that they were really compatible. So he started feeling worried for Scott because, hello, if he saw it, then Scott is definitely going to see it and it doesn't look good. But now we see Jan Scott and she said that she doesn't want to do the experiment anymore and she wants to leave with Scott. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you fucking bitch. You want to leave before this man sees this video, don't you? Because that's the only thing that's going to explain why she wants to leave. Because keep in mind, they only have 2 more days left of the experiment. Why are you trying to leave now? That makes no sense. But Scott, you know, the simp that he is, Scott is like, okay, if she wants to leave, then that's fine. We're going to leave together. And so they pack the bags. But before they leave, he wants them to go on one final date because he wants them to like talk about their problems and sort everything out so they can lay everything down on the table before, you know, they leave the experiment. But before they could do that, he really thought about it. And he's like, you know what? We really do only have 2 more days left. So I kind of want to finish this experiment. And so he decides to change his mind. And he tells Gia, hey, I don't want to leave. I want to finish the experiment. And that pisses Gia off. And so now they start arguing in front of this restaurant with her saying that she wants to leave and him begging her for her to stay so they can actually finish the show. And she's like, oh my gosh, all you want is camera time. All you want to do is be on TV. You don't really love me. You don't really want to be with me. I can't believe you. And she's just guilt tripping this man. Whole time you're doing all this because you don't want him to see basically cheating on you, because that's basically what she was doing. She's telling this man, just give it a week and I'll be done off the show. And then we can do whatever we want to do. So it's just like, you know you look bad and you don't want him to see that you look bad. So you just want to take him out of that situation. But what's crazy is that this show is going to run either way. Like when you guys leave, he's still going to stay on TV with you acting like a mess with this other dude.
You never cared about me, Scott. You never cared about me. Then you'd leave right now. The show's more important, right?
It's not. Because
Then
the
leave
thing is,
me.
there's nothing wrong with us.
You and I said
there's nothing wrong with us.
there's no point in us leaving. Well, I just want to go home to see my child and my mum and be out of this fake reality. I want to go home.
I don't want you. Right.
So Gia gets an Uber and then she dips, and poor Scott, he's like super sad, and so he heads into a restaurant and he's just like moping around like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Gia will do this to me. Then Gia calls him and it's like, I'm at the airport. I'm gonna give you one last chance for you to say that you want to come with me or else we're just done. And he's like, Gia, no, I can't come. I really want to finish this experiment. We really have 2 days left. But before he can even finish, she's like, okay, I wish you best. Goodbye. And then she hangs up on him. I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh, Gia, you are such a fucking coward. But now poor Scott, like I feel so bad for this man. This man is crying so much. And you guys know how I feel about men that cry. And yes, I was turned on. I really was. But also, I was so torn because I was like, oh, he's so hot, but oh, poor baby. But oh, he's so hot, but oh, poor baby. It was horrible. It was really bad for me, okay? I know it sucks for him, but what about me? He goes back to his apartment, sees that Gia left her ring on the table, and he's like, oh my gosh, it for real is done. And yes, it's done. But because it's done, I'm gonna need the producers to just give him the iPad so he can see everything that Gia was doing behind his back. But now we see Beck and Danny, and Beck is freaking out, but Danny's more relaxed because he said he's been a gentleman the whole entire time. Whole time we see him laughing and flirting with all these other girls, but whatever. I don't want to say flirting because he really wasn't flirting, but you could tell that man was having a really, really good time. Like, you want to be mad, but he technically didn't do anything wrong, so you can't be mad, but you know he's having too much fun. You know what I mean? That's exactly what that man was doing. But we see Beck watching Danny's clips, and her mouth is wide open as if this man is cheating on her. He's not. I don't like it. I really don't, but it's still nothing wrong for you to be acting like that, so close your mouth. But now we see Danny, and he's watching Beck, and he doesn't like what he sees.
I would have dressed cuter. I look like shit. Anyone got lip gloss? Can I borrow your lip gloss, please?
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
I don't want to do this at all.
You got your husband now, but like, what was the thing that you were looking for?
Someone probably that wanted me, you know.
That helps.
James, give it to me and I'll give it to her when she needs it later on.
Danny said that Beck lied to him because apparently when she came back, she told him that James forced his number on them. But when you see the video, she willingly took that number from him. So he's mad that she would even say that. But he goes back to her and it's like, I don't like that you were talking about our sex life. And then he tells us that even though he doesn't love Beck, he cheats her amazingly. And okay. But then he brings up the whole number thing and Beck is like, oh my gosh, what? No, I just took his number and I threw it away right after. So calm down. But he doesn't look impressed at all.
It's crazy how these women want to have good husbands. They want good husbands, but they're all shit wives. Terrible. Do you know what I mean? Just like...
Danny said that she's encouraging her to cheat, and she's like, oh, Daniel, please, Daniel, I would never. But we saw you do just that, so what the fuck? But she gets mad at him because he's focusing on other people's relationship, but he's getting mad at her because she's reflecting and she's not paying attention to why he's mad, because he's really pissed off by the way she conducted herself. And yeah, I'd be pissed off too, because girl, what the fuck are you doing? And so now they start arguing back and forth because Beck can't realize that she is technically in the wrong. And so because of that, she's like, whatever, I'm not gonna even apologize. And she gets up and then she walks off. And then she tells us that she had issues with Danny's video, but she wanted to keep the peace, and so she decided not to bring it up. But girl, Danny's video was annoying. It really was annoying, but it wasn't nothing crazy. The man was just really, really happy. If anything, I think I would have said something like, you look way too happy to be with all those girls. That is where a fight would have started, because what the fuck are you doing? Giggling, laughing, hey ladies, ha 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 ha, come here, sit closer, ha 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 ha. Like, I feel like he was doing too much. Yeah, I would argue about that. Okay, Beck, I see. You got a point there. It would give me the ick, like a big ick. Like, ugh, why do you want all this attention from all these other girls? But Danny said that Beck does all of this and still wonders why he doesn't like her. But now we see Scott, and the producers end up giving Scott Gia's tapes. And oh my gosh, you guys, it doesn't look good at all. But we already knew that, but finally, Scott's about to know that.
I only date men that pay for everything. I kind of want to be like a trophy wife. That's my vibe.
Let's get married then.
Look, in the real world, if I wasn't with Scott, I would probably hang out with someone like you. You're similar to like the vibe of the guys I usually date. Yeah, I'm done in a week. You can find me on Maths somewhere. I've been posted everywhere.
So Scott is disgusted by what he watched. He called it putrid because, yeah, that's what it was. And when we look at the iPad, he's not even done with the video. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, you couldn't even finish watching the whole entire thing, but you were so disgusted that you couldn't even watch the whole entire thing. But he said that it was embarrassing. She asked the guy if he had money, said that they could date outside of the test. And Scott is realizing that Gia wanted to leave because she didn't want him to see this video. And yes, that's what I've been saying.
I was about to get a massive house for both of us, and I was about to pay for her to move all her stuff up to the Gold Coast. I was about to give my whole life to her and her daughter. I'm done.
Nah, because imagine losing a guy like this. Not gonna lie, Scott is rich, attractive. Yeah, he's pretty attractive. Attentive, obsessed, and successful. It's just like, why in the world would you want to lose a guy like that? It makes no sense to me. But now Scott starts crying, saying that this happens every single time with every single girl he dates. All the girls that date him just use him and just use him for his money. And the more money he makes, the more money they use him for. And I'm just like, damn, Scott, all the girls have done this to you? Damn. Anyways, episode 36. And then we have episode 37. Did I tell you guys we're gonna get to 36 or 37? Well, if I didn't say 37, I meant 37. Anyways, we stop at episode 37, by the way. Episode 36. So Scott is sad looking at the old photos of him and Gia, but I noticed that it's like in text messages. And then I noticed even more that it's not him sending them to Gia, it's Gia sending them to him. And I'm just like, what the fuck, Gia?
Gia texted me saying that she's flown to Melbourne and that she's heartbroken, and then left a voice note saying, I'm curled up with my daughter, saying how much she's upset and her daughter's crying. And then she sent me a bunch of photos of memories. I think she's trying to make me feel bad, but I didn't reply, so we haven't spoken still.
It's just so crazy to me how she's still trying to manipulate this man. Like, if you really wanted him, then you wouldn't have done him so dirty. But like, now look, you want him back, but for what? You clearly did not want this man. But today's the final dinner party. David and Alyssa are going separately, which surprised me because I thought that they were done. So I thought that they would be home by now, but I guess not. But they are going to the dinner party separately, duh. David is a wreck though. Like, he is so upset that he and Alyssa broke up, and so he wants to go back and he wants to fight for their relationship. I'm just like, David, you weren't even wrong though. But he said that the way he reacted was wrong, but I'm still like, David, what the fuck? You weren't even wrong though. Your feelings were completely valid. What are you even talking about? It hurts me to say this, but some of these men, they need to stand up, okay? Not too much now, but, you know, rise a little bit, okay? Get up a little bit. You're too low. I think you guys need to start getting up just a little bit, okay? Because this is too much. This is way too much. Where is your self-respect? Please. But David said that Alyssa just didn't like the criticism and she didn't want to meet him halfway. And then we see Alyssa and she's like, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. And, oh, girl, yeah, I don't like you. I really, really don't like you. But she said that David has not been real with her during the entire experiment. But maybe if you learn to shut the fuck up, you can finally hear him be real. But whatever. David said that he still wants to try, and that's pissing me off already. And oh my gosh, I just know. I'm gonna be so fucking mad. So fucking mad.
So I got our rings back because I want to show her that I'm still here. I want to take this to the end. I want to take our relationship to outside this experiment. So tonight, I'm going to walk into this dinner party and I'm going to fight for this relationship. I'm going to walk in with our rings and I'm going to try and get my wife back.
I'm extremely disappointed, but moving on to Beck and Danny. So, they're doing great now. They always do great. After every single fight, they always do great. So yeah, nothing new, nothing changed. Same old shit. Same old fucking shit. But there is a difference this time because apparently after they made up, they banged 4 fucking times. And I'm like, what? That's more in a day than they had in a whole entire month. What the fuck? But it gets even more surprising because Danny straight up lies and tells Beck that he has feelings for her.
And then he was like, you know, I'm falling in love with you. I want to be with you. And Danny would never say something he didn't mean.
Anyways, as Beck continues to be hella delusional about her relationship with Danny, Danny tells us that he still has some doubts in his mind about his relationship with Beck. And that's a bit strange because Beck told us that you told her that you were falling in love with her. So how do you have doubts if you're falling in love with her? That's interesting. But Beck tells Danny that Gia went all the way back to Melbourne, and she asks him what would he do if she went all the way back home. And he's like, what? You want me to chase you all the way back to your city? And she's like, yes. And he's like, fuck no. I wouldn't even chase you to the door. I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh, Beck. If this doesn't scream this man hates you, then I don't know what does. But now we see Stella and Philip, and apparently Philip saw Gia in the elevator. And he's like, oh my gosh, Gia has been here the whole entire time while she's been telling everybody else that she's been in Melbourne. And so of course Philip tells Scott, and Scott is pissed because Gia has been telling him that she's in Melbourne with her daughter, and her daughter's crying in her chest because she's so upset that her and Scott didn't make it. And now Scott is so pissed because here is Gia basically emotionally manipulating him, and he's just so mad because clearly he cannot trust this woman.
You don't do that. Inexcusable behaviour. And this to me has really, that's just drawn the line in the sand. I can't trust the person that I was falling in love with. She's abandoned me, she's lied to me, and I wanted someone to be faithful and honest with me, and I feel like what she's done the last few days has shown me the person she is.
Anyways, it's time for the dinner party. The first people to come in are Stella and Philip, or is it Rachel and Steven? It doesn't matter, both of them show up. Afterwards is David, and he says that he's ready to get his girl back, and I'm just so fucking disappointed, but whatever. But he comes in, and everybody's shocked that he came in by himself, but he said, I'm gonna fight for my relationship. And David, please, the amount of secondhand embarrassment I can give you can only be so much. Calm down. Anyways, Beck and Danny show up, and Beck is talking to Stella, and she's telling her how great her relationship with Danny has been, and that they've been doing this so many times, 3 times a day, and damn, your coochie ain't tired? I don't need a break, what the fuck? But then Beck tells Stella that Danny told her that he's been falling in love with her, and Stella kind of gives her this look of disbelief, but then she turns to Danny, and in front of everybody, because there's like only like, what, 6 people there, but she's like, oh, Danny boy, I just heard the news, so you're falling in love with Beck? Oh, but y'all, the reaction, it's so bad.
We heard the news that you're falling in love.
Oh, Danny.
Stella.
Oh,
No, Dave. No, you can't yell that out.
what is the problem, Beck? No, why not? It's a celebratory
It's
thing.
me telling you that,
Oh,
not you
sorry.
telling everyone that.
Sure.
Now I'm thinking that Beck lied, because what the fuck is that? Stella tells the producers that she's so confused, and so am I, because what the fuck was that? But Beck wants to change the subject immediately, but she tells us that she was annoyed that Stella told everybody because she wanted to be the one to tell the girls, and she wanted Danny to be the one to tell the boys, but like, if everybody was gonna know eventually, what's the problem of everybody just knowing right there and then? Like, what? It makes no sense to me. Yo, I really do think she lied, because his reaction, he looked fed up. He's like, she lied, but I'm not gonna call her out on it. I'm just gonna move on. And basically, that's what happened. So, yeah, that was really awkward. So awkward. But the guys are teasing Danny, and they're like, Danny, tell us more. He's like, oh, I'll tell you guys when I'm ready. And the guys are like, no, tell us how you feel. And he's like, oh, I'll tell you guys when I'm ready. And the guys are like, oh my gosh, what the fuck is going on? Something's definitely going on, but we don't know what the fuck it is.
I think Beck has this sensitive thing with Danny, and it's like, you know, I'm not gonna be the writing on the wall, but there is writing on the wall, Beck. You know, one day you might open your eyes and read it.
Yeah, so everybody else can tell that Danny really isn't into Beck. So yeah, that's awkward. Beck, please, if everybody else can see that your man doesn't like you, I need you to see that as well, because it's getting really embarrassing for you. But now Alyssa shows up by herself, of course, because, you know, David's already there. But she comes in, and all the girls are giving her a hug, and David goes to give her a hug too, but she gives it to him and then quickly like pulls away when he's like trying to give her like a long hug. But she goes to the bar, and she's talking to Rachel, but David comes behind her, and he's like, hey, I really want to talk. And she's like, no, I'm not really comfortable with talking to you right now. He's like, I know, but please, let's talk. And she's like, no, I just want to talk with my girls right now. I need some space, please. I just need some space. I want to talk to my girls. And he's like, oh, okay, fine. Basically, she shuts him down, and I feel so bad for him. And then she grabs Rachel, and she goes and she tells the girls everything that's going on. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is your husband. and you were the one to do him wrong. So why are you acting like he's the one that did you wrong? This is so frustrating to watch. But not only that, but Alyssa's telling the girls all the drama and all the tea. But when David came in, without Alyssa, of course, everybody wanted to know all the drama and all the tea. But he's like, no, I want to be respectful to Alyssa. So I want to wait until she comes here first before we can, you know, share what happened together. But, I guess Alyssa didn't get the memo. I guess he didn't tell her that. So I find it very interesting that she came in and she just started spilling all the tea to everybody, while David was the only one to like be considerate of her feelings and like say like, hey, let's do this together. But instead she's like, girls, this is what happened. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. Well, okay, David, go ahead and talk your shit too, I guess. But, that's what he does. He sees that she's telling all the girls what's going on. And so he tells all the guys what's going on. But then he's like, okay, let me get up and let me go talk to her and we can talk about our issues privately now. So after he's given her some space, he gets up, he goes to talk to her and he's like, hey, can we go and talk? And she's like, no, I just want to be around my girls right now. I'm just like, damn, bitch, you've been around your girls for like, what, 20 minutes now? Get up and go talk to your husband. Come on, what are you doing? But y'all, he basically has to beg this fucking woman to get up so they can go have a conversation. And it wasn't until like Rachel and I forgot the other girl. I don't know who the other person was. But Rachel and somebody else, they were like, go have a conversation with him. Like, what are you doing? So she gets up, they go to like the other side of the room. They're talking and he said that he's sorry for taking off his ring and that he wants to continue this relationship. And this bitch, she just continues to defend her shitty behavior.
I don't know how you go from watching a video that I don't even think I did anything wrong. I think you were just vulnerable in that moment. Was I just being my loud, bubbly, dry sense of humour self? Yes. Was I having fun? Yes. But that is who I am. You obviously don't know me. To feel like in that moment that was all too hard for you, that you took off your ring and you said you're done. It sucks. I can't pretend that everything's okay when it's not.
Nah, you guys, I hate her bad. And also, she's making herself seem like she's the victim. Like, what the fuck? You're not the victim in this situation at all. But the experts are watching and they're like, oh my gosh, here is David being honest and sincere. And here she is just shutting him down every single time. And not only that, but she's doubling down saying that that's just how she behaves and that's how she's going to continue to behave. She's not trying to be flexible or compromise at all. She's like, this is how I am. This is how it's going to be. Deal with it. That's not okay at all. But David tells her that what she did still hurt him, but he still wants to fight for this relationship. And so, oh my gosh, he gets down on one knee and grabs the ring that she threw at him and is giving it back to her. I'm just like, David, get up, please. I'm begging you, get the fuck up. But he tells her that he won't walk away from her ever again and that this ring won't come off her finger ever again. And he also tells her that he loves her while sliding the ring back on her finger. She's like, thank you. I'm just like, that's it. And the experts are also like, that's it. And everybody's like, that's it. That's it. That's all you can say after he basically professed his love to you. After you did him dirty, that's all you could say. Thank you. Fucking bitch. My goodness.
She's giving him nothing.
Giving him nothing?
Shall we go back?
Let's go back.
It's so scary. Final vows are around the corner and my relationship is uncertain. The only thing I've got to hold on to is the fact that I've got the ring back on her finger. You know, that's progress.
Yeah, I think she was looking for a way out of her relationship with David and she almost got it, but you know, he whooped her back in and she's like, oh my gosh, fuck, now I gotta be back in this fuck-ass relationship when I was just texting Connor all night long. Bitch, fuck you. Anyway, Scott comes in by himself and he tells everybody everything and fucking bitch-ass Beck is trying to make excuses for Gia, but Scott shuts it down immediately, which I love because, yeah, girl, shut the fuck up. But everybody's shocked that Gia lied, saying that she was in Melbourne when she was in Sydney the whole entire time. And now we see Gia in her car because she's driving over to the dinner party, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he ghosted me. Boo-hoo me. Stop trying to act like the victim. Why are so many people acting like the victim today? Don't they do that every single time? But Scott is telling everyone that she lied during the whole entire experiment, and he's completely done with her. But then Gia arrives, and Scott's heart immediately drops and he said that he doesn't even want to look at her. But then we see Gia and Beck give each other a hug and the experts are watching and they're like, what's going on? When did they become friends? Y'all, don't even question it. They're going to be enemies next week. I promise you. But Scott and Gia do this uncomfortable hug. And then we see Gia and Beck talking. And Beck is telling Gia that everybody knows everything. And they all know that she lied. And then that she was really in Sydney this whole entire time. And Gia's like, oh my gosh, fuck. Now I don't even want to be at this dinner party anymore. I really want to go home. Like, no, stay and face the consequences of your actions. Come on. But Beck tells Gia that she believes that her and Scott have something real, and so she really wants them to stay together. So while everybody heads to the table for dinner, we see her and Gia go backstage, and she's basically telling her that, hey, Scott told everybody everything. So everybody's like, poor Scott this, poor Scott that. And you know what? People need to start saying, poor Gia this, poor Gia that. And Beck is like, do you get my drift? And Gia's like, oh, so you want me to play the victim? And she's like, yeah, exactly, play the victim. That's my girl. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Y'all are truly Satan's children, because what do you mean play the fucking victim?
Out victim him. What am I saying? I love you. I'm sorry. I thought we had a family unit. I'm looking at this like strategically. It's not just about the relationship, it's about all of Australia. And if you can cry, that would be great. Oh, of course I will. This is your moment now. Yes? Yeah.
I really can't believe that Beck is trying to do all of this just because she doesn't want Gia to leave. Y'all have 2 more days left. Why do you even want Gia to stay here for those last 2 days? Let her go. Why are you trying to make her look like a victim, possibly make Scott look bad just for her to stay for another 2 days? Like, what? What are we doing here? But anyways, they come back to the dinner table and it's really quiet. I feel like this has been the most quiet it has ever been at a dinner party. Beck does a nod at Gia. She's like, for her to like start the pity party. But Gia doesn't do anything. I think she's hesitating a lot. And so Beck realizes that she needs to be the one to start all of this. And so she's like, you guys, I just feel like it's really sad that Gia and Scott are in this horrible situation right now. So Gia, why don't you go ahead and read that letter that you've written for Scott? And I'm just like, what fucking letter? Then all of a sudden, Gia pulls out this letter from her titties. And I'm just like, what? She opens it and it's like written from the front to the back. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Did she have this pre-written like before she even came to the dinner party? Or was this like written in the bathroom? Once again, what the actual fuck? Because if she did write that in the bathroom, where did she find the pen and paper? And also, how did she have enough time to write all of that? Anyways. Basically, it's a love letter. So in her love letter, she's talking about how she found Scott and how he's her soulmate. And she's pretending to cry, but no tears are coming out. Her eyes are not even red. She's like also fanning her face, but like, once again, your eyes are not even wet. What are you fanning? Nothing's coming out. You don't need to dry up anything. After she's done reading, I think she was expecting people to clap. Nobody clapped. It really didn't even look like anybody even acknowledged the fact that she even wrote a letter. So yeah, the only person to clap after they realized that nobody was clapping was Beck. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's also looking around like, oh, I'm the only one clapping. Yeah, bitch, you're the only one clapping.
To bare my soul, not for the cameras, but for you.
But y'all, Scott then does an Uno reverse and he's like, you know what? I also written a letter too. And he pulls out like 4 sheets of papers, front and back, of a letter that he wrote for Gia. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And apparently he told nobody. And I'm even more like, oh my gosh, because damn, Scott, you really had this up your sleeve this whole entire time? This honestly feels like a crazy drama of like, look what I got. And the other person's like, oh, but look what I got. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's basically what's going on here. But he's reading the letter and it sounds so much more genuine than whatever the fuck Gia was saying in her letter. You can tell how hurt he is because his hands are literally shaking. And he's talking about how horribly Gia treated him and how she lied to him and was so quick to try to get with another man, and how she lied about being in Melbourne when she was in Sydney the whole entire time, and of everything that he did for her, and he just can't do it anymore. And he takes off his ring and he says he's done and he walks out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he really is done. And y'all, throughout all of that, Gia could not even muster one fucking tear. I'm just like, damn, bitch, you really got no fucking soul, do you? When Scott leaves, the only person to go after him is David, and it's just so sad because they're both in really toxic relationships. Yeah, it's so interesting how one person handled it one way and the other person handled it the other way. So yeah, really crazy how to see how those things panned out. David tells Scott that he's really proud of him, and Scott just burst out in tears, and he's just such a sensitive soul. Oh my gosh. They did a great job not showing me his crying face because I would have folded immediately.
I can't be with someone like that. No, you can't. I looked at Gia when you were reading that and no emotion. So the fact she can still sit there, you did the right thing. And she's blown it for herself. She just lied to me.
Maybe David can take some advice from Scott and also leave his bitch of a wife as well. Just saying. But everybody at the table is disgusted by Gia, except Beck. And she's like, you know what? I thought Gia was pretty genuine. yeah, I thought that she really tried her best and she really put in effort. She was so vulnerable. Poor Gia. Like, Beck, shut the fuck up. But then Beck tells us that it sucks for Gia that she loves a man so much, but that man doesn't love her back. And sucks for her, but she can't really do anything about that. And what? Girl, you're talking as if your man is actually in love with you. If anything, it feels like, even in this situation, I genuinely feel that Scott has more love for Gia than Danny ever had for you. Like, Danny's height love for you is still lower than Scott's lowest point of love for Gia. That's genuinely how I feel. Beck, that man does not love you at all. I promise you that. He does not love you. I don't even think he likes you. But y'all, everybody thought that Gia was done, but apparently she's not. This girl manages to muster up the rest of the bullshit that she has still left in her to be like, you know what? Me and Scott's relationship was not good at all. That man has been playing me and I've kept quiet until now. He never reassures me. He never says that I look good. And he's been using my body for sex. And everybody's like, girl, enough. What the actual fuck is wrong with you? So everybody's calling her out on her bullshit and she's like, oh my freaking gosh, I'm a single mother. Am I not good enough? He never thought I was good enough. He said that I couldn't swear, I couldn't drink, I couldn't hang out with Beck, which I thought was one of his best advice, but okay. But he was just so controlling over me. You guys don't know what you're talking about. But y'all, nobody's falling for this.
Gia's always been able to handle whatever issues she's made onto someone else, putting it back on them. Just being caught lying a lot of times, it's hard to believe what you're saying. Do you understand?
Philip, when you say you're in Melbourne with your daughter and you're not.
She's shown her true colours from day dot. It's lies, it's BS, it's main character syndrome, it's zero accountability, it's just Gia.
But everybody asked her about Melbourne and she said that she was pretending that she was gonna go there because she just wanted him to chase her. She's like, I'm sorry, but I'm just a girl. I just wanted my man to chase me. What's wrong with that? Leave me alone. Like, what? You're 35. Pushing 40. What do you mean you're just a girl? You are a grown-ass woman. Grow up. But Rachel tells her that if she loves him, that she should get up and go fight for him. And Rachel, why the fuck would you tell her that? Especially when she just tried to destroy this man's image. And especially when everybody could see that this woman has been verbally abusing this man. Why would you tell her to go and try to fight for this relationship? Come on. But surprisingly, Gia actually gets up and she goes backstage to look for Scott and she finds him and she's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry too. But then she's like, I just really thought that you were gonna chase me. I'm sorry. Bitch, you would have gotten bitch slapped right there and then. But Scott is like, nah, I'm done. And then he reminds her about James and how he saw everything and also how she was just trying to get with this guy after the show was done and he didn't appreciate that at all. And Gia is speechless before she's like, I've never chased a man before in my life, Scott. You're the only man that I've chased. But Scott's not hearing it. He said that he doesn't care and he doesn't want to be with her anymore. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever. Can I just get one more hug before I go? And he gives it to her. I don't know why, but I guess there's still lingering feelings there, so I guess one last hug before the bitch leaves. I guess.
Can you do like me, please? The word is now, or I'll rip it off, so it's fine.
Yeah, I understand. Please don't. Please don't.
They're gonna have to help me get it off then. I'm actually gonna leave and go on a flight to Melbourne. Cannot wait.
Is she actually gonna go home this time? Because I highly doubt it. Anyways, back at the dinner party, everybody's talking about how they're just so in love with each other. But Alyssa's like, I can't do this anymore. And so she tells David that he blindsided her, then got in a fight with her, then took off the ring, and then comes back just to tell her that he still loves her. But like, yeah, it seems to make sense to me. Like, what's the problem? But she tells everyone that it sucks that she feels like they're the only ones that are disconnected. But he tells her that she's also done him dirty too, but he still wants to try. But Alyssa said, you know what? It just feels like I just don't know this person. And now David has to like prove himself to Alyssa. And I don't know, the whole scene makes me sick. I don't like it at all. Like, David, you're not even in the wrong at all. She's just looking for any excuse to leave. It's not your fault. She's putting all the blame on him, and Stella notices and she's like, Alyssa, please, David is a good man. And he sure is.
Great man, great woman, great man right here. But also, do you know what, in my eyes, I've seen a side of this person in the last week that I don't know. To take your ring off, that is a red flag for me. That to me is toxic. My feelings have changed towards you and you just have to go my pace right now.
I am just so sick of her. I hate her bad. Oh, she's definitely not up there with Beck and Gia, but she's getting close. But she said that she knows that David is in love with her, but her feelings has changed and now she's no longer in love with David. And now she just goes off on that man, saying that he's in the wrong and that she did nothing wrong and that she's just so hurt by his actions. Like, bitch, fuck you. What is your fucking problem? Honestly, I feel like Beck and Gia, Definitely did not bully this girl enough. Please. I'm sorry. There, I said it. I am sorry. You guys had a point. This bitch is a fake ass bitch. Somebody bring Book back. Please. Bring Book back to get this bitch. But for some freaking reason, David is still trying to fix this relationship with her. And Alyssa's like, no, you can't. And then Beck backs Alyssa up. And can somebody just lock this dog in her fucking dog cage and put a fucking muzzle on that bitch? I can't not stand her. Every time she wants to defend somebody, she always defends the wrong person. Like, how do you defend the wrong person every single fucking time? Every single argument, you're defending the wrong fucking bitch. You and Gia keep doing this. It's a habit y'all got. Can you guys just shut the fuck up and just watch the show like everybody else? Why do we always gotta defend somebody? Well, I mean, you can defend somebody, but why specifically they always gotta defend the wrong person? But Alyssa continues to attack this man, and finally, when he finally gets a word in, she does this big ass sigh like, oh, as if she's tired of him speaking, when he just started speaking, as if she didn't get a chance to speak at all. Bitch, what do you mean? You've been talking this whole entire time. Shut up for once. But David tells us that it seems like nothing he does or say is ever good enough for her. And every time he tries to speak, she's not trying to hear it. And she keeps bringing up that damn fucking ring, saying that, oh my gosh, I can't believe you took off that ring. I would never take off that ring. How dare you take off that ring? As if it wasn't her actions that caused him to take off that ring in the fucking first place. Like, girl, why are you forgetting the sequence of events that led to him taking off the ring? It was something that you did. Who tells a man to drop off their pants? What are we doing?
To know that my heart is in the right place. I apologize to you, Alyssa. And honestly, I own that.
You did
I own that, and I did.
Shouldn't have done.
And I did that because.
And I never did that to you, babe.
I know you never
I've
did that
shown
to
you
me.
every side.
I know.
Steven said that Alyssa is taking it too far. Danny said that Alyssa is just making a mountain out of a molehill. Stella said that it's very clear that David's trying to fight for his relationship, but Alyssa isn't listening at all, and everybody just looks so freaking defeated. But the experts are watching all of this, and they're completely shocked by the way that Alyssa's acting, and they're like, oh my god, this is the first time that we've seen this woman act like this. But no, David has been seeing this for a very long time. But I'm just shocked that David is still trying to fight for this, because if somebody was talking to me like this and like shutting me down every single chance they get, I would instantly fall out of love with them, because I'm not dealing with that.
I'm literally here because I love this woman.
Too late, doll. Too late.
But it's not too late. It's only too late if you want to throw 3 months down the drain.
But you know what? I'm willing to throw 3 months down the drain rather than waste any more time. I'm done.
So Alyssa walks off and David chases her and it's like, baby, please don't do this. Baby, stop. Baby, please. I'm just like, David, stop. Please stop. I don't know, but this feels very wrong. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Stand up, my brother. Please. Please, please, please stand up. But she's like, no, I need space. Leave me alone. Give me a minute. And he's like, all right, fine. The experts are really disappointed, but I'm excited because I'm hoping this will be the wake-up call that David needs to be like, oh my gosh, this woman clearly doesn't want me. Why should I want her? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But David comes back and Steven tells him, hey, I'm just going to say what everybody else is thinking. It looks like Alyssa is checked out. And everybody's like, yeah, David, you're a good guy. Fuck that girl. But David tells us that he's going to be doing a lot of thinking before the final vows. Episode 37. It's the final episode. Final vows. Whoop, whoop. So Beck and Danny are talking about Gia and Scott, and Beck is bragging about how she got Gia to the whole dinner party thing and said that she did this on purpose so Gia and Scott could like hash it out, and basically she's very proud of herself. And yeah, that's weird.
I'm very proud of myself, actually. So you can play at that game, honey.
Genuinely, that woman is terrible. Like, hell terrible. Anyways, everybody has to go home and reflect on their relationship, and the next time that they see each other will be for the final vows, where they will be like, yes, I want to be with you, or no, I don't want to be with you. If you guys had to do a final vows with me, would you guys be with me? I would say no to you guys. I'm just kidding. I love you guys.
I'm scared.
But we see David, and he's a bit ashamed that he was chasing somebody that, you know, didn't want him. And I'm like, thank God you finally opened your eyes. But he said that he's going to be doing a lot of thinking before the final vows. And thank God. Thank God. Because if you're still saying, I really want to see if I can fix this with Alyssa, I really hope that she says yes, I would have been completely done with you. But Yes, please go think about it. But he said that she always wanted him to challenge her, but when he finally did that, she just shut him down. Also, it looked like at the dinner party when he was basically begging for her to stay with him, she was kind of looking down at him, and he didn't like that at all when all he was doing was just fighting for their relationship. But then we see Alyssa, and she says that she feels great after she had a great night's sleep. Like, wow, good for you. I'm pretty sure David probably did not have a good night's sleep. Imagine that. You just dealt with something like that. You try to go to sleep, you like tossing and turning, thinking about your relationship. Whole time your bitch of a partner's like, oh my gosh, this is a great night's sleep. Like, I'd be so pissed. She said that she had a great night's sleep, and then she starts bitching about him throwing that ring again. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. That's the only thing you can say about that man, because he did nothing else to you. It was like she was looking for anything she could use against him. Finally found it, holding onto it, and is gonna use that as an excuse to break this off. Girl, we know that you didn't want that man. You just probably want some black dick. You got it, experienced it, now you want to go back to... That's a crazy assumption. You know what? I will apologize for that. You probably... Actually, I don't know what you wanted. Definitely not David though, so yeah, fuck you. But David and Alyssa go back home, and they're both thinking about it. He's doing some serious thinking while she is still bitching about that fucking ring. Like, you really can't think about anything else except that ring. Whole time you're telling another man to pull down his pants so you can see his butt tattoo. Like, are you kidding me? Talking about, oh my gosh, we were just talking, we were just networking, it wasn't anything big, I was just with the ladies. Like, girl, shut the fuck up. Alyssa and Gia were right about you, and Brooke, they were all right about you. You are a fake bitch. But now it's time for their final vows, and we see them pulling through. David is first, dog. We see his fit, and I fucking hate it. Who the fuck dressed this man like this? That beautiful man, beautiful face, beautiful body, got him wearing those tight ass clothes. Like, what the fuck? Could y'all not go a size bigger or maybe make it longer? I didn't like it at all. You guys disappointed me. You guys wanted to make that man look bad, didn't you? But now we see Alyssa, and I also don't like her dress either because it looks too baggy. Who are these people dressing up these people? I actually preferred the way they dressed up Alyssa because they made her look bad, so that's fine. But I don't appreciate you making David look bad. Not at all. But Alyssa said that today is going to be really hard for David because he missed the mark and the ball is in her court, and it breaks her heart that she's going to be breaking his heart. Like, girl, please. Fucking hate her. I hate that bitch. I really do hate her. Oh my gosh. But isn't it crazy that we all, me personally, I liked her for like 34 episodes, and all it took was 2 episodes for me to fucking hate this bitch. Now she's like ranked with Gia, Brooke, Juliet, Beck, all those evil bitches. Put Alyssa up there now. Fuck all of them. That's crazy. All it took her was 2 fucking episodes to be put up there. Damn. Oh, of course we can't forget about Chris and what's his name? Steve as well. Put them all up there. Not Steven. Steve, okay? Just in case y'all forgot about Steve. I'm not talking about Steven. He's annoying, but he's not evil. Anyways, they meet, they give each other a kiss, and it's time for them to do their final vows. David goes first, and he talks about how great the relationship was and how great they were for each other. And his was just so genuine and raw, and it felt so powerful. I really liked his vows. But he said that he did everything she wanted, and he did everything for her, and he never tried to change. But it was at the final commitment ceremony that changed everything.
I finally spoke up. I told you how at times I'd held back in this relationship, not because I didn't care, but because I was scared that being honest would push you further away. You accused me of blindsiding you, and in that moment, I realized something important. I wasn't being hurt. You couldn't see that I wasn't attacking you. I was finally standing up for myself. It wasn't about proving a point. It was about finding my voice. Despite your frustrations, I still wanted to fight for us.
So his vows were so good that I do want to show it all to you guys, but I can't because, you know, copyright. So I'm gonna retell it to you guys word for word, bar for bar. Okay, not exactly word for word, bar for bar, but close enough, okay? Let me read it, because obviously I'm not going to memorize this. But he said, I still wanted to fight for us. I vowed to let my walls down, be vulnerable, and express how I truly felt. I told you that I loved you, something I wanted to say for a very long time. Although you didn't say it back, I left feeling confident that there was still hope for us. Watching you back on our final test with our alternative matches, you flirted, made inappropriate jokes, and made fun of me. You stated you wanted to be challenged, but shut me down when I did. You didn't take accountability for how I felt. Yes, we laughed, but I was also shut down, controlled, and unheard. With you, there was no version of me that could win. If I pushed, I was called controlling, and I cannot be the man who you are still deciding if I am enough. I've been patient, and I've done enough listening today, so I'm not walking out because I don't love you. I'm walking away because loving you shouldn't mean losing myself. And then, you guys, he walks away, and I'm like, yes, thank you, God, thank you.
You're not gonna listen to my vows?
That's a no. Wow, I just wasted 3 months of my life and he won't even listen to me.
It's so funny she said that because, bitch, hello? He literally said that he was done listening to you. Once again, you're not listening to this man. Like, what the fuck? So now the girl says her vows, but he's not even there. And the editors don't care enough to stay either. So she's literally saying her vows to nobody.
Wow. I can't believe 3 months ago we were complete strangers standing at an altar saying I do.
The choice to walk away from Final Vows today for me was all about choosing myself in this relationship and making my voice heard.
Honestly, good for David. He said that all he wanted was for Alyssa to fight for him, but she didn't. So yeah, he's done. And then we see Alyssa talking to herself like, girl, wrap it up. Nobody cares. She then throws her stack of note cards on the ground and she walks away because nobody's listening. That's the end of David and Alyssa. Yay. Moving on to Rachel and Steven. I'm so sorry for anybody that wanted an in-depth final vows on them. I just couldn't be bothered, okay? I like drama, I like plot twists, I like things being chaotic, and they just didn't give that, which is great, okay? That means they have a great and healthy relationship, which I loved, and what I aspire to have in my future relationship. But I want the drama, I want the tea, and they didn't give that, but they did give us a beautiful final vow ceremony. The looks was really cute. They kissed. He even had her lipstick on his lips. It was adorable. Great for them. They both said that they wanted to continue this relationship. But what was strange was that he said that he wanted her to be his girlfriend. And I'm just like, huh? I thought, because this is my first time watching Married at First Sight, I thought when they go to final vows, they actually commit to marrying each other. Like, okay, let's sign these marriage papers. We're not going to be married. Hee hee. But I guess they just confirmed that they're exclusive now. They're in a real relationship now, which, I don't know, that's kind of like a letdown. I really thought something big was going to happen. I was really shocked that yeah, that he said that, yay, you're my girlfriend now. Wait, is that why Beck was so excited that Danny said that you're my girlfriend now? Because basically she didn't have to wait until final vows. He just said, yeah, you're my girlfriend now. So, yeah, no wonder why she was so excited. Okay, my bad, Beck. Anyways, moving on to Beck and Danny. So they're both at their own homes. And Beck says that she knows that Danny loves her, but she's just waiting for him to say it. So, yeah, I hope he says it. But now we see Danny and he doesn't really know if he wants to be with her or not, which is crazy because Beck just said, I know he loves me. Whole time he's like, oh, do I really want to be with this bitch? Oh, I don't really know. Probably making like pros and cons, but all he gives us are the cons. So let me read them. He said she makes small things big, gets angry quickly, is aggressive, loves drama, is too involved in drama. He needs to be careful with his words when he's talking to her or talking about her. And so now with all of this, he needs to sit and assess if she really is the right person for him. And Isha. Anyways, it's time for the final vows.
I am manifesting that it's going to be the best day ever and that I'm going to hear exactly what I hope to hear and we run off into the future together. I love Danny. Even though we argue, that doesn't diminish the feelings that I have for him. We have overcome so many hurdles together and I can't imagine my life without him now.
Anyways, Beck starts and she's talking about all the good that they've been through and what they have or whatever. And yeah, her vows are really heartfelt. But what's interesting is that whenever you look at Danny, he looks really uncomfortable. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you are stressed out because you're about to crush this girl's heart, aren't you? Yeah. Like, y'all, the dude is not even smiling. She's over here talking about how everybody in her family loves him and how he's gonna fit in so nicely and how she just can't see a future without him or just can't see him in her life. And he just looks like a deer in headlights. And I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh. Maybe he should have read first before she, you know, poured out her heart and feelings onto this man. And honestly, if I was him, I would just pass away right there and then. But she's finally done and all he could muster is, aw, like, really? Oh, thanks for that. Oh.
Aw. Okay. Do you want me to go?
Y'all, he's gonna break her heart. I can feel it. And yeah, that's what she deserves. Terrible, terrible person. Completely terrible person. Honestly, I feel like this is all your karma throughout the whole entire season, just hitting you right here in one go. So yeah, at least you got your karma real quick instead of it being like sliced up into like multiple little karmas here and there. But he starts talking about how in the beginning of their relationship, they were just so happy. And then, you know, they started struggling with finding intimacy and finding their spark and so on. But then over time, they were building something, but then everything changed during the third dinner party. And he saw her differently because she was on the attack. She was vulgar and she was just like being mean to everybody. Beck kind of does this awkward laugh, smile, whatever thing, like, ish. And he's like, I started seeing you differently. I started questioning you. I was embarrassed to be around you. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's really putting it all out there. But he said that he still stood by her and he was happy that she was doing better and rebuilding friendships that she destroyed later. But then rebuild them again, that she destroyed later. But then rebuild them again, but destroyed later. That's my input. Okay, he did say that in the vows, but he was thinking of it, definitely. But he said that he continued to stay with her and it just kept getting better and better and better. But then he said that he didn't like that they had that fight back at her house and she's laughing, but he continued saying that he was questioning their relationship because of that. And I'm just like, oh girl, you talk about how you don't like when he's laughing in serious situations and now you're laughing in a serious situation. And I wouldn't be laughing if I was you because this is not a laughing matter. He's about to dump you. But then he continues saying that he didn't like how she lied about getting that man's number. He doesn't like how she's so argumentative. He doesn't like how they be fighting. He wants to have kids in a stable family with a stable relationship. And he doesn't see that really with her because, you know, she's not really stable herself. And so because of that, he's doubting being with her.
Stepping away from the experiment in the last week, I really thought about how I felt having space on my own again. And as much as it breaks my heart to say this, I felt a weight come off my shoulders, particularly at a time where I knew I should have been missing you. I believe you can have multiple soulmates in life. Some who are your best friends and some who are your lovers. Beck, I believe you're my soulmate as a friend, but I've come to realise there's doubt in my mind that if you are my soulmate as a lover.
So, I really don't think that's shocking for anybody, but he continues saying that he's sorry from the bottom of his heart, but he just can't be her husband anymore, and he wants them to be happy, but happy with somebody else, not together. She just looks at him, and she just says, okay, and I thought that she was gonna scream and yell and fight or something, but she doesn't. And he's just as shocked at me because he also thought that she was gonna do something like that, but she doesn't. The girl just looks really pissed off, and Daniel's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and she's like, it's all right. And then she turns around and walks away. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna murder somebody. Probably his firstborn son. Oh my gosh. But then he goes back to the producer and he's like, oh my God, she took it so well. I can't believe she handled it like that. Now I feel like shit. I would have felt better if she abused me. Like, what?
See, like, why couldn't she have been like that the whole way through the experiment? I'd stay with her. Do you know what I mean? Look, how flawlessly did she take that? Why couldn't she have just been like that the whole way through the experiment? I'd be with the girl. Like, why's that other side got to be there? There's a side that I just can't have.
Danny, my goodness. But low-key, he's not wrong. But Reese Beck, and she said that she feels blindsided and she's just crying a lot. She says that she wants her phone and she wants to go back home right now. And I don't blame her. Bye. Now for Stella and Philip. So, once again, I did skip by this couple. Please do not get mad at me for skipping these people, okay? Snore fast, sorry. Lovely couple, my favorite couple, had to skip. But, what I didn't expect, and thank God I didn't skip this part, is that Philip got down on one knee and he proposed to Stella. And I was completely shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, I thought that, I didn't think that you guys were proposing on this show. I thought everybody was just going to go to girlfriend and boyfriend because, you know, Steven went to boyfriend and girlfriend. Wait, was Steven actually supposed to propose? But he didn't and just decided to be girlfriend and boyfriend with Rachel. Oh, that would piss me off. Anyways. Philip actually proposed to Stella and she is in disbelief and I also was in disbelief. And she's like, oh my gosh. Y'all, she was so happy that she couldn't even answer. She just was like kissing him and just like holding him. And I legit did cry. I was like, this is so sweet. I wish I watched it from the beginning. But I do believe they did have beautiful vows or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Let's do this. You shaking?
Yeah.
These were the only people that didn't ignore me during the whole entire show. Well, Stella did for like 0.5 seconds, but I will let that slide because that is my girl and I do love her. But that's the end of Made at First Sight. Well, the end of the current show. The reunion we're gonna do next week. hopefully next week. If nothing happens to me next week, if nothing goes on next week, you guys should get it by next week. Okay, isn't that great? You guys get it back to back. Well, Jessica, we could have gotten it next week for all the videos, because technically this video is only like 2 hours long when it could have been like 3 to 4 hours long if you added all those reunions and extra things. Yes, but we're not talking about technically here, okay? You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Honestly, I didn't even think that this video would have been so long, since it's just like, what, 6 fucking episodes? Why the fuck is it so fucking long? I think it's 7. Whatever, I don't care. Anyways, I'm gonna show you a preview of the next episode. It's just a little snippet, but it's Beck crashing out on Danny.
Next time, the participants return for the traditional reunion dinner party. And Beck is demanding answers.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Anyways, that's the end of this video. Can't wait for the reunion. I have not watched it yet because, you know, we do this one step at a time. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna start watching it, not tomorrow, next week. And we're procrastinating. We'll see if we get that out. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Bye.